disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He just killed a little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing.
Lobito!
You got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Well, welcome everybody to Night the Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. This is good friend Mr. BDA, and I'm glad. That's right, sure, I'm glad that everybody could be on board for this one. Fellas, in this episode, we've got a fantastic one for you, because we got a fantastic, and I do mean fantastic, night of boxing on Saturday. We also have some boxing on Friday, so beaucoup boxing this weekend, and so like I said, there's a lot to talk about, and then after this, it's a special edition of the Second Renaissance in the news edition. So Miss John Gonzalez is going to be there. And in case anybody else wants to drop by, I'm sure we can accommodate you. But before we get down to the fun, you guys know the deal. We got to get the business out of the way. If you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you're certainly welcome to do so via the Super Chat feature. You can also donate via Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee app, link in the description below. You can also join the membership program. That way you get more bang for your buck. However, the most important thing is you continue to like, you subscribe, and you spread that BDA gospel, all right? Let's give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm talking about Baron Evola, Hyperspaz, Skull Kid, Bill the Boxer, King Bucho, keeping an eye on things, Alfredo Contreras, Jaime Raiden, Sir Owen Thomas, Sam Rando, and many more people to come, I'm sure. Fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Hit the like Bucho said. Hit that like, hit that like, hit that like. My goodness gracious, Bucho. There's a lot of boxing this weekend. And I mean, if you want to consider Friday the week, I think we're allowed to do that. There's just way too much boxing. Unfortunately, I suspect boxing fans, we're going to have to sacrifice our time to watch one and, like I said, sacrifice the other. Which fight should we start with? The main event on Saturday? The Madison Square Garden card, I mean. I can't hear you, Bucho. There you go. I think Bucho's having some connection issues right there. But yes, indeed, we've got a lot to get to here. Actually, let me fix something here real quick, because again, I think I have to take the opportunity to talk about the Rodecaster Pro. And oh boy. Yeah, I don't have the... The Rodecaster Pro is a fantastic tool that allows you, it's hardware, it allows you to seamlessly broadcast on the internet. And it also allows you to channel and route audio through different tracks, no longer having to use the digital workarounds that we use here at BDA Boxing. So we're really trying to get our hands on one of these. I think Bucho already has one. And wouldn't you know it, we're getting some connection issues here. I'm in the red. Do you guys see that? I'm in the red. Oh, okay, hold on. I can hear you now, Bucho. I can hear you, yes.
Yeah, I was muted, I think.
Yes, you were. Can
On
you
this
send me
thing.
the thing there for
roadcaster.
the? Can you send me the thing for the broadcaster because I don't have it. The link is gone.
All right.
But like I was telling people, yes,
Okay.
the Roadcaster Pro is a fantastic tool. Allows you to seamlessly broadcast, stream audio, video, whatever. And also the biggest one is this whole thing with the phone calls. The people on Discord cannot hear the people on the phone calls because we're patching the phone calls through a browser. And so to patch that to the Discord, it's a pain in the behind. We're using actually browser extensions to boost the volume. And so with the Roadcaster Pro, those things are out the window. We no longer need those workarounds, and therefore we get cleaner audio. Bucho's already starting to use that one. In fact, tomorrow, because again, we got a lot to cover
tomorrow,
here.
Yeah, you'll see.
We got a lot to cover here as it pertains to boxing.
You guys will see tomorrow. You guys will see tomorrow when I use the Roadcaster with the phone calls, because tomorrow I'm going to be doing a show specifically to take your predictions, and we're going to take phone calls. So tomorrow I'm writing down all your predictions, and we're going to be using this new system, and you're going to see the difference.
Well, let's start talking about the fights that are going to be taking place this Saturday. And of course, we've got the one on Madison Square Garden. It's the big one. It is Teofimo Lopez, the undisputed, that's right, undisputed junior welterweight champion, taking on Shakur Stevenson, undefeated. I guess you could call him a 3-division champion by today's standards. He is undefeated. He's got a lot of hype behind him. You know, I still remember when people were saying Lomachenko was being overhyped, and people used that as a reason to root against him. But with Shakur Stevenson, doesn't matter. He can get hyped up all people want or all he wants. And he doesn't get quite the amount of hate, and that's right, hate, that Lomachenko did. But nevertheless, it's Teofimo Lopez, 22 wins, 1 loss, 13 knockouts. With Shakur Stevenson, 24-0, 11 knockouts. It's all the marbles. It's for all the marbles. Everything's on the line for this one. And Bucho, how about you start off telling us what you think about this fight? And don't forget to send me the Roadcaster thing there so I can pump it back up on the screen.
I think I got it. I sent it on Slack.
Alrighty.
What do I think about the main event, the fight? I don't know. I'm excited about this fight. It has this feeling. I have a how would you say? It feels like when I was a teenager and was watching these big fights happening in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s.
Is that right?
And listen, I'm picking Teofimo Lopez, but I don't know what's going to happen because the judges, they like to reward a guy that's on the back foot, that plays it safe. That's how these judges operate these days. And the referee, I forgot his name. Who is it again? I know who it is, but I just forgot his name. This
Harvey
guy,
Duck.
He's not the best. Harvey Duck. There you go. This guy's going to he's going to favor Shakur Stevenson. That's not just my opinion. I don't want to get more into it, but I think Teofimo Lopez has a very good chance of winning this fight.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not robbed or anything like that. Also, but let's be honest. I mean, Teofimo Lopez, he's hot and he's cold. We've seen it since he lost to Camboso. Sometimes he shows up, sometimes he doesn't. But he's been showing up for the big fights. Against Josh Taylor, he showed up. That was his most important fight since that loss to George Camboso. He showed up for that fight and he beat that legit lineal 140-pound champion. And so if he can pull that off again, that type of performance, if he steps it up, I think he can beat Shakur Stevenson.
Well, he did open up as a 2-1 underdog, I believe, Teofimo Lopez, despite being the champion. That's how highly people think of Shakur Stevenson. Now, for some reason, Bucho, the last time I put the Roadcaster thing, it began as 0 and then it reset itself to the actual amount, but it's not doing that now. So I'm going to have to take that down for the moment because it's giving a wrongful account of our finances here as it pertains to the Roadcaster. But yeah, okay, so Teofimo Lopez is a 2-1 underdog right now, I believe. And I don't see that swinging. I don't see those odds swinging as the fight nears. And yeah, I'm siding more a little bit with Shakur Stevenson. I think he probably... And the reason why I think Shakur... by the way, people are probably heard that the can opening. Obviously, that's not beer. You guys know how it works here. No alcohol from Mr. BDA. He's on the true path. It's mineral water. What do they call it? Sparkling water. Although I am drinking black tea because for some reason I feel very low on energy. So I'm bypassing my rule of no caffeine after 7 p.m. because again, we got to do the second renaissance afterwards. Now, as it pertains to the fight, I think Shakur Stevenson will probably edge it out. And the reason why I say that, Bucho, is if it's that type of uneventful fight that most of us are expecting, the judges and the media specifically, for them, a fight in which very little happens is a fight in which Shakur Stevenson is in control. That's the way they see it. Or that's the way I think they're going to see it. Because again, think about what happened in the Zepeda fight. Shakur Stevenson everybody already knew how Zepeda was going to fight. In fact, that's one of the reasons why people picked Shakur Stevenson overwhelmingly. The amount of people who picked him overwhelmingly did so because Shakur Stevenson is just that good, right? So we know what Zepeda is going to do, and therefore a genius like Shakur Stevenson is going to be able to take advantage of that to its fullest degree. He said, I'm going to put belt to ass. Well, the only one that ended up getting hurt twice in that fight was Shakur Stevenson. Now, yes, he did end up winning, but it certainly wasn't the belt to ass performance that he'd claimed. And in fact, after the fight, people were so perplexed about Cepeda's success that they ended up saying, well, it can't be that Zepeda, the one-dimensional slowpoke, managed to give Shakur Stevenson such a tough fight. It had to be because Shakur Stevenson wanted it to be that competitive and that close. That's how infatuated people are with Shakur Stevenson. And I don't know if that's necessarily why the fight went that way against Zepeda. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm thinking that if very little of consequence happens against Teofimo Lopez, it's going to be because that's how Shakur Stevenson wants it. It's because Shakur Stevenson is in control, and therefore I think most people are going to give him the edge in that fight. Well, what do you think? Am I reaching here?
I mean, listen, we've heard all these so-called experts say that Teofimo Lopez has to be the one that looks for the fight. Like, he has to do something to win the fight. What about Shakur? I don't hear this guy saying, you know, Shakur has to do this and that. It's like Shakur, according to them, apparently Shakur only has to be himself. Okay, what is that? What is himself? Is it Shakur fighting like he fought Zepeda, or is it the Shakur that fought fucking Jermaine Ortiz, and he got the decision? Where he literally ran. He ran in that fight and he got the decision. So are they expecting that type of performance from Shakur? And I think that's enough to beat Teofimo Lopez. I think these people are underestimating Teofimo Lopez at this point, and they're overrating Shakur.
Well, the big discussion that I'm seeing is that, correctly so, people are pointing out that Teofimo Lopez is not that good making the first move. But I would argue the same thing about Shakur Stevenson. He's not very good at making the first move. I don't think either of these two guys want to make the first move. They're both counterpunchers. Now, I can understand the benefits of being the counterpuncher, because that way you force your opponent to open up first and therefore be vulnerable as he attacks. The reason why I think Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson are actually kind of timid in there, because the same goes for Teofimo Lopez. People like to think, like, oh, Teofimo Lopez, he's got more balls than Shakur Stevenson. And that might be true if you look at who he's fought, right? I mean, he took on Lomachenko, he took on Josh Taylor, and he did so against Lomachenko when Lomachenko was the number one pound-for-pound guy by a lot of people's lists, and Teofimo Lopez had less than 20 professional fights. So yeah, he deserves credit for that, but the way he fights, it's actually kind of Shakur Stevenson-esque. Maybe not as bad, because he's never had performances where he backfoot bitches it quite like Shakur Stevenson, but he's very timid too in a lot of these fights. And I think the reason why, again, if you rewatch the Jermaine Ortiz fight, people like to say, well, he looked bad in that fight because he doesn't know how to fight coming forward, which is true. However, rewatching that performance, he was cutting the ring off well. But when it comes to pressure tactics within the squared circle, it's a two-part affair. You got to cut the ring off, and then you got to be able to cut the distance. But when you got a guy so jittery and as mobile as Jermaine Ortiz, who refuses to engage, it's very difficult, even when you know what you're doing, to actually make it happen. Well, we would address people to, or invite people to rewatch Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. I mean, there you have a virtual novice just moving around the ring, backfoot bitching it and clinching, and he made a bigger, more experienced, superior fighter look bad. So that's how difficult it is. But Teofimo Lopez too, though, he deserves some blame in that Ortiz fight, because he would cut the ring off, and then when he would fail to cut the distance and he would flail in with a right hand that would miss, he would actually just get the fuck out of there too. As if he was afraid of the incoming fire, as if Jermaine Ortiz was a prime Adonis Stevenson that could take you out with one shot. So I think what I ended up realizing, thinking about it, is Bucho, I think both guys, it's not necessarily that they're afraid of getting punched. I don't think they're necessarily afraid of the contact. I think they're still in Olympic style mentality mode, amateur style mode. Because, in the amateurs, you got 3 rounds, 3 minutes, right? It's you got to go
Yeah,
from
don't touch me. You touch me once, it's a big deal.
Exactly.
If the opponent
These dudes, exactly. These dudes are still in that mode where, if I give up a punch,
fencing.
I'm surrendering the round. Exactly. So that's again, rewatch the Jermaine Ortiz fight. Yes, Jermaine Ortiz was back foot bitching it, and I don't think anybody would have been able to look good against him. I mean, even Lomachenko, he's even better than much better than Teofimo Lopez at cutting the ring off and cutting the distance off. He had trouble with Jermaine Ortiz. There's just very little you can do against that style. But Teofimo Lopez, however, also deserves some blame in there for fearing the return fire as he was facing a legitimate puncher. So that's what makes me trepidatious about really expecting too much from this Teofimo Lopez-Shakur Stevenson fight. Again, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to be intrigued because it's for all the marbles, and there is a pound-for-pound spot for the winner, depending on how he wins. But again, this is why I think this fight is going to be uneventful.
Well, what about the size? Is that an issue here? I mean, Shakur's moving up 140. Is it going to be a disadvantage for Shakur Stevenson, or you feel like he's strong enough to be at 140? And what about his punching power?
Man,
like, is he going to bring... Well, I mean, does he have punching power? Like, what's your take on that as well? So size and punching power.
I mean, he was putting on a beating on Josh Taylor in the last 4 rounds. And again, there is that myth that Teofimo Lopez completely schooled Josh Taylor. I think if you rewatch the first 6 rounds, they're actually pretty close. It's only really about the 8-9. That's when Teofimo Lopez started to take over. And again, I don't want to cast aspersions and downgrade Lopez's performance, but there is a question about, what type of Josh Taylor were we going to be, should we really have expected for that fight? Because I remember being surprised by that. I thought Josh Taylor would beat Teofimo Lopez. So people say, now it's revisionist history if you start saying that he was finished. But hold on, we do have the right to revisit and review certain things. We saw Josh Taylor look bad against Jack Catterall, but maybe, I think a lot of us expected, that was just a bad performance after a year layoff. But he ended up losing to Jack Catterall for real this time in the rematch. And then he lost to Esakao or Esuman or whatever his name is at welterweight. So that's one fight he's looked bad in 4 straight fights, Josh Taylor. I think it's safe to say that the guy isn't the same Josh Taylor that won the junior welterweight tournament back in 2019. So, I mean, Josh Taylor, Teofimo Lopez had, I guess you could argue, a diminished fighter in there and couldn't take him out. Then again, the flip side to that coin is Josh Taylor's an experienced guy. He knows how to hold on. He knows how to survive. The Steve Claggett performance, which is Teofimo Lopez's pre-last or before-last performance, he had a guy that was coming at him. That's a style that Teofimo Lopez likes because it makes his counter-punching style shine. And yet he couldn't put the guy away. Now, again, Steve Claggett from our neck of the woods, fellow Canuck, he's a very tough guy. Very tough guy. At this point, he's a veteran, even though he's not that old, I think. Let me just check how old he is. But he's a durable guy. He knows the tricks of the trade. And I don't think it's necessarily that much of a knock on Teofimo Lopez that he couldn't stop or drop the guy. But again, to your question was, how good is his power? I don't think it's not as good as it was at lightweight. And even at lightweight, it might have been a little bit overrated by the media. But I'll tell you what, Bucho, people say, he doesn't hit as hard as people thought, or he doesn't hit as hard as he used to at lightweight. He hits harder than Shakur Stevenson. That's for sure. Would you?
Yeah, I was asking about Shakur Stevenson actually, but yeah, that's also we should also talk about Teofimo Lopez power because some people are saying that it's not the same power as 135.
Well, I mean,
but yeah, you answered a lot of things about Teofimo Lopez power, and I agree completely. And he definitely obviously hits harder than Shakur Stevenson. What about Shakur moving up? Like, is he gonna be at a disadvantage in your opinion?
No, that won't be a problem. This dude's a welterweight. But I wanted to ask you though. Because we just glossed over it. You're picking Teofimo Lopez. Why is that?
I mean, I think he's also explosive. Here's the thing. He's not a slow fighter. This is Cepeda. And we talked about this, right? Cepeda is he's a volume puncher, but he's slow. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't hit as hard as some people. He never hit hard. He wasn't never really a hard puncher. He would break you down. He would tire you and shit. He would maybe put you out. Or he would just outbox you with his volume, basically. Outpunch you. But when it comes to Teofimo Lopez, this guy's explosive. He cut the distance pretty quickly if he wants. A little bit like Roy Jones used to. And by the way, I'm not I'm not doing that Kellerman comparison of Walsh and Roy Jones. Remember that? That was
Right.
crazy. No, but what I'm saying is he's explosive. He's pretty explosive. He's fast and he's quick, and he might have he might make Shakur twitchy. Is that the word?
Well, his name is
Shakur, my boy
Stevenson, by the way.
Shakur. He's gonna
My boy Kerr. My boy Kerr.
yeah. My boy Kirk, he's gonna be jittery. He might get him all jittery because he's gonna be flinching. He's gonna be. He might. Teofimo Lopez might start getting Shakur on the back foot, and then he might end up on the. Shakur might end up on the ropes. I think. But this is where Teofimo Lopez has to be smart. He cannot do that bullshit that Cepeda did. This guy really has to dig in with the body shots, with hooks to the body. Then come upstairs, not throw three straight punches at the gloves, like Cepeda was doing straight 1 2 1 2 1 2. No. Dig into that fucking body, make him pay because he's on the ropes, and you're gonna see Shakur start clinching. But this is what he has to do. He needs to feint, make fucking Shakur clinch and get him all jittery, and then try to back him up. He needs to be explosive, man. He can't be a counterpuncher for this fight, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a good point. That we're gonna talk about that. Again, though, we got a lot of things to get to, and it's only at 9:20. By 9 o'clock, we gotta be out of here because we're doing the second renaissance. So we're gonna have to move through a little bit to this subject a little bit quicker than I would have liked. But again, we're gonna be covering this all week long, so don't get it twisted. We're gonna analyze this from inside out. Shout out to Quickslot, by the way. Shout out to Quickslot for his contribution with the super chat. Shout out to Quickslot who says, "For that thingamabob." Well, thank you. It's certainly going into the Roadcaster Thingamabob fund, and we got to figure out how to get that ticker up there again. But shout out to Quickslot.
I sent you a link. I sent you the wrong link before.
Is that right? All right, now, but real quick, I wanted to say something else about Shakur Stevenson. I want to give him credit, though, because you said that William Cepeda is not a big puncher, and I agree. He's not that big. He's a slow twitch muscle guy, right? So that's why he's able to throw as many punches as he does without being the fastest guy out there. However, he did run through Maxi Hughes and El Cabron Cabrera, who are two underrated southpaws. In fact, Maxi Hughes has done a good job of making a lot of good dudes look, but I think he got robbed against Cambosos, and Cepeda just ran through him. So I do give Shakur Stevenson credit for being durable. It's not, there is this misconception that the guy is made of glass. Again, I don't think necessarily is because he's afraid of getting punched, although I do think he's a little bit more trepidatious than the average fighter. But when push comes to shove, listen, he took those body shots from Cepeda, and that's why at the end of the fight, he actually had to sit down on the ropes. He couldn't even wait for his trainer to put the stool back in the corner. He sat on the ropes. That's how depleted he was from that fight. But hey, he got through it. Got to give him credit for that. We got Frank jumping in
I
here.
could have done more.
Yeah, maybe,
Frank.
maybe. We got Frank A. Frank A.
I don't think he's there. I think he was there, and then he wasn't there. Now he's gone.
Oh, when he
He's
comes
gone.
back. So yeah, you're picking Teofimo Lopez. How sure, how confident are you in that pick, though? That's the big question.
No, I'm not. So I don't trust the judges. I don't trust the referee. So I'm gonna have to say 55-45 Teofimo Lopez.
That's the same thing for me, but I'm doing it with Shakur Stevenson. But I would not be surprised. People are underestimating Teofimo Lopez's skills here. And again, people go, yeah, but he didn't look good against Martin or against Ortiz. Yeah, but why do you think, especially Jermaine Ortiz, why do you think he fought that way? Why did you think he ran around the ring? He didn't run that much
I don't
against.
know, man. Why? Yeah, but he looks bad in a lot of these fights. Some people say, oh, because he's not motivated. I don't buy this nonsense. I mean, he's a professional. But then again, he showed up against Josh Taylor, right? That's the most important fight that he had since the Cambosos loss. And he beat the guy. And Josh Taylor wasn't just a nobody. He was the lineal 140-pound champion. So which one do you want to take? Do you want to look at the bad performances or the good performance against a world champion?
But how much does he have left, though? That's the big question. How much does he have left, Taylor? How much did he have left in that fight?
I don't. Yeah,
and that's the other thing. Let's talk about that one. Everyone, the same narrative over and over, the same talking points. Well, depends on which Teofimo Lopez shows up. Like, I'm telling you, it was the same Teofimo Lopez from always that showed up against Ortiz. He just fought a guy who was running around the ring back foot bitching it. And people say, well, what about Martin? Martin, the same guy that the fight could have easily gone his way against Puello. In fact, I think he should have won against Puello. And he beat Mikey Garcia. But they're making it out to be like you're not supposed to look bad against Martin. Martin is actually quite an underrated boxer. So again, this whole thing of, Teofimo
Barbosa? What about that fight?
That was a very
boring performance, but what?
That was a good performance from Teofimo Lopez. I mean, there were a lot of people picking Barbosa. I wasn't picking him because I knew that's precisely. People say, well, Teofimo Lopez shines against guys that come to him. Actually, I think it's guys who are slower than him that don't go to him, who are just trying to outbox him. Those are the guys that he eats up. Now, the problem in that performance was it seems that he's just going at it based off of his talent. There's not that one single punch that he keeps repeatedly hitting his opponents with or whatever. It's almost like he's going at it on base of talent. But that's because that's how talented the guy is. I mean, I'm telling you, I think punch for punch, the guy is faster than Shakur Stevenson. Although I'm not saying Shakur Stevenson is a slowpoke, but what I'm saying is I think he is faster punch for punch than Stevenson. It's just that Stevenson is the more composed fighter. What I mean by that is Shakur Stevenson does less to get more, whereas Teofimo Lopez has to do more with his talent in terms of, like if you watch the Barbosa fight, he has to throw like 4 throwaway shots before landing that big one upstairs. And, some people could say, well, isn't that what you're supposed to do? Yeah, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. I guess what I'm trying to say is we'll see if that he can figure out Shakur Stevenson. Because say what you want about Shakur Stevenson, he's a very slippery character in there. He's a slippery Pete.
But by the way, we're talking about Teofimo Lopez's bad performances. What about Shakur Stevenson's bad performances? Well, he didn't have any bad performance. I mean, we can look at the Jermaine Ortiz fight.
Right.
That's not De Los Santos. Earlier I said Jermaine Ortiz. I mentioned no De Los Santos. I mixed him up. What about the De Los Santos performance?
Better step it up.
Shakur De Los Santos. That was a terrible performance.
It was a horrible. I mean,
the guy ran.
You know what I was actually thinking? I've said this before. When that sorry excuse of a fight ended, I was expecting people to defend him because I said here are gonna come the boxing hipsters talking about how if you don't like what he did, you're not a boxing fan, go watch bare knuckle or watch slap fighting. No, a lot of people said, well, we can't defend this. And I was happy to see that people aren't that deluded out there. But the only one who was actually the vehemently defending himself the most was Shakur Stevenson, who did go with that excuse of, well, I beat a guy, I outboxed a guy while only using one hand while I was injured. That's boxing. It's like, no, man, that was running. That was the epitome of running right there, of the ass style. And so you're right. He claimed he had an injured hand, blah, blah, blah. I mean, so when you're injured, that's the best you can do? You got to throw 100 punches or however few punches he threw. That's the best he can do. And again, people say, we talked about this guy. I think Sobers brought this up off the air. People blame Shakur De Los Santos too. Well, what about De Los Santos? Why didn't he do more? If you rewatch that Shakur Stevenson fight, you will note that every time De Los Santos flinches or feints, Shakur Stevenson's already halfway through the other side of the ring. Every little thing that De Los Santos did, whether he threw a punch, whether he flicked a jab, whether he feinted, whether he looked at him crooked, Shakur Stevenson will jump back. When Shakur Stevenson would do that...
Because De Los Santos is fast, man.
But hold on. When Stevenson would do that, De Los Santos wouldn't. He would stand in place, he would lean back, or he would change levels, but he wasn't running. He wasn't jumping out of position after every little thing that Shakur Stevenson did. So no, he's not at fault. He stood his ground. It was the other guy that kept leaping back like a rabbit. So no, I don't blame De Los Santos for that performance. There's not much you can do against a guy who literally jumps up in the air to evade what you're doing. You cannot catch up to a guy like that. It's insane to put the blame on De Los Santos.
By the way, we're at 20 likes. This is embarrassing. This is disgusting. I don't even know what to say. We're at 20 likes. I just refreshed it here. We need to get this up to 40 at least?
At least 40, yeah. 20
40
more
likes?
people hit that like. 20 more, you know what?
Yeah,
to entice people to hit that like.
Yeah, go ahead.
To entice people to hit that like, let's get the Gypsy Boxing in here, liven them up a little bit. Like the hype man. Gypsy, are you there?
Yeah, Gypsy.
Yeah, guys, how you doing?
Oh, boy. Can you improve the connection a little bit? Do you think you could actually talk onto the speaker or something? Because
Do you have us on speaker?
I don't think we're gonna get anything out of it.
1 second.
I don't think we're gonna get
better, man.
Okay, what about now? How good do I
perfect.
sound right now?
Now I can
Perfect.
hear the Armenian
Okay, so
warrior on the line.
I'm actually stuff. It's gonna come over in a couple of days for Amazon, so I can get a better mic for you guys. Um, the thing is, you guys be talking about what's his name, Shakur and Teo, but the other fight that is going to be an upset is probably going to be um, Ortiz versus Davis.
Oh,
I mean, there is a skill gap I'm noticing between them.
that?
There is a skill gap. Davis is too comfortable, and he's of relying on his power fighting small ass dudes.
It's a good
This
point.
dude, what's his name? Ortiz is a better mover. He's less lethargic. He's more thinking than what's his name, Davis is. He's more of a thinker. I think he's gonna outclass him. They're talking about stopping each other. I don't know about that, but I can see Ortiz winning the fight. Maybe maybe they rob him, and then maybe Davis resorts to illegal blows. I can see those kind of stuff. Yeah.
Have they spoken about?
So,
Yeah, because that's
yeah.
the thing. Have they mentioned who Keyshawn Davis is training with now? Because we know he left Bomac. Nobody knows. I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends, right? Because it is a bit of a big move, and that's the thing. Though, when you get a guy like Keyshawn Davis, who's going around now telling people that he was drinking in the build-up and the aftermath of the failed De Los Santos bout, do you guys trust him to not be doing that type of mental case type of stuff again for this one?
I have no idea, man. That's a good question. What do you think?
I mean, but what is it about De Los Santos that so terrifies these guys? I mean, Shakur Stevenson running around the ring against him. Keyshawn Davis apparently, allegedly sabotaging the fight because he didn't want to be in there with him. There's something about De Los Santos. Now, Jermaine Ortiz doesn't hit as hard as De Los Santos, but he's a physical guy. He appears to be as big as Keyshawn Davis. I guess we'll have to see on fight night when they're actually facing each other off. But Jermaine Ortiz is just as fast as Keyshawn Davis. I think Keyshawn Davis is a little bit better schooled, and I think he hits a little harder, maybe a lot harder. We'll see on fight night. But yeah, I think Gypsy's onto something. I'll tell you this: Keyshawn Davis, they both have an opponent in common, and that is Nahir Albright. Jermaine Ortiz defeated him back in 2021, I want to say. Oh, I think it was before the Lomachenko fight. Let me just double check here. And Jermaine Albright, as we've seen, he's a very tricky character himself, and Ortiz beat him. Jermaine Ortiz beat Albright in 2022. Yes, it was before the Lomachenko fight. It was unanimous decision. And Davis ended up getting a no contest against Albright because of the wacky tobacco that he inhaled before the fight. So both guys are actually quite similar. Albright and Keyshawn Davis are actually quite similar, and Ortiz had a good showing against Nahir Albright. So I think there might be some things that he can capitalize off of there. I will say this: Keyshawn Davis, if you rewatch that Nahir Albright fight, which again got turned into a no contest, Keyshawn Davis likes to use that Philly shell a lot, and he used it a lot against Nahir Albright, and Albright was able to turn him a lot during that fight because what's his name? Keyshawn Davis likes to get on the Philly shell and sort of dip down or get that side stance. And he's stuck in place, essentially, waiting to counter with that right hand. And Jermaine Ortiz, what's one of his best weapons or attributes? The pivots, the footwork. He's got incredibly fast feet. He's very fleet-footed. And so I think we're going to see a lot of that against Keyshawn Davis. I think Keyshawn Davis would do well to actually just stand his ground a little bit more in a classic stance and try to counter off to the body. So I'm expecting, I'll tell you this, I have a feeling it either goes a distance and Keyshawn Davis gets a decision, albeit in a close contest, or he takes out Ortiz early. And then the hype train is going to be about, like with Lemos. He took Lemos out early, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but we never really saw if he needed to adapt or if he could. You know what I mean? So those are the two things that I see. Bucho, what do you think? We got Sobers too. I don't know who wants to go first.
Yo.
Go ahead.
So we talked about Keyshawn Davis and old boy Jermaine Ortiz.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Keyshawn versus Jermaine Ortiz.
Okay, so this is another guy who is, you could say, is a weight bully. He was big as hell for the weight class. It's a fight that I'm surprised that Keyshawn Davis is taking because he probably has something up his sleeve. He's not going to make weight or something because this seems like a dangerous fight that this guy wouldn't take. You know what I mean? Someone talked him into it because this or Jermaine Ortiz has the same physical attributes that Keyshawn Davis. He has speed. He has good footwork. His power may not be there, and maybe that's where he said, okay, maybe this guy can outbox me, but I'm not worried about him knocking me out per se. So maybe that's why he felt like it was like a calculated risk. But I don't know. I think that Jermaine Ortiz he's good here for an upset. He doesn't have, he's not popular. No one really knows who he is like that outside of, you can say the hardcores. So him winning a decision, it's probably a long shot. Right. But even in that, we still seen guys where they're supposed to win a fight, they don't, and then they get a decision. So even if Keyshawn wins and he gets like a gift decision or robbery, it'll still be good to see that style. I'm sorry, hold on. Even if Jermaine Ortiz can manage to whoop his ass and still gets robbed, it's good to see that, right? Because then you say, okay, well, even if they give him the win, like the work was still there, the holes are still there. So I'm interested to see how you'll look against like someone like Jermaine Ortiz. Kind of favor Ortiz, bro. I don't think that Keyshawn Davis was ever that good. He's just another weight bully who's running into some guy his size. And now that he's left the snack pack team, the Bomax, and them, you know what I mean? Like I'm telling you, he's already had mental breakdowns where he's thinking about jumping head first off a garage building. So
Come on, man.
So you know what I'm saying? He's unstable, bro. Who knows? And then you seen him like going all crazy like an animal when what's his name lost his fight, Cruz. When you put that energy out there, it finds a way to come back to you. Karma might bite him in his ass this weekend.
You might have a mental breakdown during the fight.
I hope so. I hope it's on camera.
Well, he's being straightforward about what he likes.
This is his first time fighting at 140 as well. Jermaine Ortiz.
It's a recipe for disaster, bro.
Yeah, it is. First time 140. Jermaine Ortiz has been fighting in 140, maybe 2 fights. I don't know how many fights he got. He got a few fights at 140. I think he knocked out somebody.
Well, that's the thing is, though, if
he has more fights at 140.
I mean,
but like Sober said, Keyshawn doesn't have. Ortiz is not a power puncher, so it's a calculated type of fight. It's like okay, I'm my first fight at 140. I'm gonna pick this guy who doesn't have like that much punching power.
Hopefully, he doesn't underestimate Keyshawn Davis's power, though. Jermaine Ortiz. I hope he's not thinking, well, I've been in there with Lopez, Lomachenko. I can take this guy. Now, Keyshawn Davis might actually be hitting harder at 140. You never know. I mean, I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, but you just never know. And let's not forget that Jermaine Ortiz did have a draw. Was it a draw? Let me just double check. Against Theodore Adorno.
He has a draw in his record.
Well, I think it was against Theodore Adorno. Now, what's his name? Not Theodore. Joseph Adorno. Joseph.
Adorno.
And he ended up, Adorno dropped him twice, I believe, in that one. Or at least, I think he dropped him early and then hurt him very badly later on in the fight. And that was a draw. And that's why after when Lomachenko struggled a little bit against Ortiz, a lot of people were saying, that's the guy that Theodore Adorno almost knocked out. So what I'm saying is if Joseph Adorno could wobble and drop. If he could hurt him, I'm thinking,
Theodore?
I don't know. I think Keyshawn Davis could as well.
Yeah,
I
can see that too.
That's because of dehydration, bro. Because I mean, that's for 135, right? It could be because of dehydration.
Maybe.
I don't hold that too much. Yeah, because I mean, look, Terrence Crawford got a good chin on him, but he got hurt by Gamboa at 135, and this dude is Jermaine Ortiz is not so far away from size compared to like Terrence Crawford. I mean, like size-wise, they're pretty much close.
Hey, shout out to what was his name again? Bucho. I'm putting it up on the screen here. His message. What was his actual name? He's changed it. The beatmaker of Osiris, but
the beatmaker of Osiris. Who the hell is that?
With a Q, they had a little Q.
No, it was Particle. It was something Particles.
Like DJ name.
Quantum Particle. No?
Quantum. Quantum. Yeah, shout out to Quantum. He's in the chat there. I might open up the phone lines just for him to call in. Why not?
Oh, BDA, I have a breaking news from my source on the inside,
Ooh.
Ernesto.
Let's hear it.
And
Ooh,
Canelo.
let's go.
Canelo has a surprise opponent, right? It's
Mhm.
supposed to be a surprise for everybody. All right. Well, let me give you a name,
Mhm.
and you tell me how good it sounds. How much of
Oh
a
boy.
surprise that would be.
All
This
right.
matchup. Carlos Adames versus Canelo.
Wait a minute.
What?
Well, first of all,
Not
Adames has
bad.
to beat
No, it's
Amo.
not bad.
You know what? It's
That's
not
not bad
bad,
at
but
all.
it's a
But he will.
middleweight. Yeah, but it's a middleweight. I mean, what? I mean, wouldn't you want to see him against a super middleweight? Canelo, that is.
He needs a bounce back win, don't he? He needs a bounce back fight. And
That's
do you
true.
think that's an easy fight? What do you think about that matchup?
I mean, he didn't. I mean, Shiraz didn't have an easy time with Adames, so I don't expect. I mean, that would be a difficult fight. Yeah.
I guess Adamas
I mean,
put it on
Canelo.
Sniper before in sparring. Maybe that's why it's similar.
Maybe. Maybe that's a. I don't know. What do you guys?
You guys
What
see
do you
that
think?
tape?
Question is that what happened to the B sample of Janovic?
Yeah. What the hell? That's
What
been. When
happened?
is it?
That's
It's
I
been a
mentioned
month
it,
now.
nothing.
I don't know.
No news is good news, right? No news is good news. That means he passed it, and they don't
They're
want to
hiding
say it
it.
out loud, right?
Hey, maybe,
Probably,
Yeah.
man.
yeah.
Hey, real quick. Before, I mean, we'll talk about that Adames thing later because again, we got a lot to get to. We're doing a Seco Renaissance at 9. We got to end this at 9, so we got to move through a lot of things. So we'll save that
Right.
potential Adames Canelo fight for subject for another time here. But
Can I?
real quick, oh yeah, go ahead, Frank. Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to comment on the Keisha Davis and Jermaine Ortiz fight.
Akeisha Davis. Yeah.
Key Lime Davis. Key Lime.
It's gonna, huh? Yeah, it's the biggest potential to be ugly. Remember Keisha's fight with Maduro? Was that it when they were body slamming each other, taking
Yeah.
turns?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This has the potential to be the ugliest fight of the night. Just a lot of grappling. It'll be close, but we need Jermaine to pull through, man. I hope he boxes and runs like he did from Tio and make Keisha look bad. And Keisha loses, and Shakur has a meltdown in the locker room. It could go one of two ways, right? Shakur is devastated and can't focus, or he puts it down for his boy. I did it for you, Keisha. You know, like Rocky style at the end. He goes and gives Keisha a hug at the end, to console him.
We did it. We did it.
Yeah. I hope Keisha loses so it messes with his psyche. He'll be devastated.
Yeah,
It could be a draw. I could see a draw happening. I'm not gonna pick a draw, but I could see a draw happening. I see Ortiz beating him clearly on almost everybody's eyes, and especially except for the fanboys of Davis. And then they say it's a draw. I can see that happening because
Well,
that's usually what they pull off to save face.
one of you guys mentioned. I apologize for forgetting who, but somebody mentioned about how Keyshawn Davis might not have wanted to fight Jermaine Ortiz. That's what Ortiz thinks. In a recent interview with Ring Magazine, he said, I don't think he had a choice. I think it was either you get this opportunity to fight on the card and more potential opportunities and stuff like that, or you're off the card. I think that's how it went down, Ortiz says. So Ortiz believes that Keyshawn didn't really want this fight. Like he might have wanted an easier touch at 140, and instead he's getting this dude who's an experienced, strong, and still young fighter. I don't know.
It makes sense. It
I
makes
mean,
sense. And no, it makes sense, bro, because you see like someone like Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson, they'll say things like, "Oh, size don't matter to me. I don't care how big you are," but they always manage to find smaller opponents,
Yeah.
significantly smaller opponents. So now that he's actually getting in there with someone who could be categorized as another weight bully, who's actually pretty big for the weight class, yeah, I don't think you chose him on purpose, especially for your first fight at this weight class. This is actually a hard fight. So yeah, I don't think he really chose. He might have been forced into this position, by the stinky pinky turkey,
The stinky pinky turkey. There you go.
I
think
no,
Keyshawn
real
Davis.
quick because sorry.
Keyshawn Davis better hope he gets him out of there early. Otherwise, it could be a long night. But yes, Frank, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, because it was supposed to be Richardson Hitchison. He was supposed to be fighting Jermaine, and they pulled the switcheroo on Hitchison because they were trying to set up Hitchison versus Keisha, and I guess they both turned it down due to money issues. That's the rumor mill.
Interesting. I didn't
So-
know that. Yeah.
don't see.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't see a world that Keyshawn stops Ortiz in like 4 rounds or 3 rounds.
All he has to do is
It's
catch
not
him, man.
possible.
I mean, all you got to do is catch a guy and then
I
a
mean,
flurry,
yeah,
and then
but
you get a
like,
UK stoppage, and boom.
stupid
Hey, by the
at
way,
beginning.
real quick, we got 5 more people
Yeah.
need to hit that like, and we get to 40. 5 more people hit that like, we get to 40. We're golden. Otherwise, we're out of here. I want to get to also on this card. Just glance through them. We got Bruce Choo Choo Carrington for a WBC strap. He got on his knees and thanked Suleiman. Said, "Thank you, Mauricio, for that. Finally getting a belt." So a little bauble, a little strap is on the line. He's taking on Carlo Castro Manriquez. We also got Carlos Adames taking on the Furry Austin Amo Williams. So if Adames wins this fight, according to source Q, according to Q, Carlos Adames might get a Canelo payday. We also have Jarrell Big Baby Miller taking on Kingsley Ibe. And so that's the card. That's what rounds up the card. Also on Saturday, and I suppose that this is going to be taking place at on Eastern time. It's probably going to be about 5 p.m. here, 6 p.m. Live from the Utilita Arena in Newcastle, United Kingdom. We got the return of the so-called boogeyman, Bakram Murtazaliev, taking on Olympic gold medalist. He's an Olympic gold medalist, right? Josh Kelly, I think. Or whatever. Taking on Olympian Josh Kelly. Once beaten Josh Kelly. And this should be an interesting fight. Josh Kelly is a mobile guy. Yeah, he's not quite the puncher that Murtazaliev is, but he's certainly faster than him, more mobile. Guys, what do you think happens in this one?
It's going to be an execution.
Well,
if he lasts 5 rounds, I'll be surprised. I'll say 3.
Whoa.
I don't have a
Yeah,
very high
man.
opinion of good Josh Kelly. He's terrible. I think he's terrible.
Man, normally I'd agree with you, Sobers, but I don't know. I could see something fishy going on because they said Booty Ennis is already signed to fight Josh Kelly, and I think it would be a more.
And what, you don't think he'll fight him off a loss? You don't care.
No, because it'll be for the title. You know, they want to somehow find a way to get Booty a title to have the
They need
upper
someone to
hand.
take the belt from Bakram so that they can give it to
Exactly. Yeah.
Didn't Josh
because-
Kelly get knocked out by some Armenian dude? I didn't know that dude.
Avanesian.
Was it Avanesian?
Yes.
It was someone else.
It was Avanesian. How are you gonna flex that? How are you gonna flex like, oh, he an Armenian bit, and you didn't even know which Armenian it was?
Armenian. I don't even remember his name. Yeah.
I'm not that interested. A lot of these guys.
You know what? I call
He's
BS on that.
lying.
I call
He's
BS
lying.
on that. I call BS. I don't know who. Like he's trying to pretend like there's all these Armenians kicking ass. It was Evanesian. You knew exactly who it was, but you're pretending here like you got a million Armenian killers out there taking care of business.
There's only 2 of them. There's only 2 of them. There's him and Big Darchinian, right?
Well,
There's another guy. There's another cruiserweight. Remember that? I think he's gonna fight the cruiserweight champion over there, the Australian dude. I forgot his name.
Mikhailian. Yeah, whatever his name is. Yeah, that's they got a
Mikhailian is
unification
gonna
there.
fight, the Australian guy.
But anyway, so
That I know.
Sobers.
Mikhailian-
All right, so Sobers, you're going with Murtazaliev. You're saying by
By execution. Yeah.
execution. Anyone else want to chime in on that one?
I agree. I agree with Sobers, but I think Kelly will survive about 6 to 7 rounds up until the point he gets knocked out because he's a mover. He's gonna give a little bit of problems, but not too much up until he gets caught and gets slept.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what's gonna happen. That's my personal belief.
Well, Frank did bring up the fact that there might be some behind the scenes intrusions occurring. Maybe yeah.
Well, no, because they said this guy Murtazaliev is the boogeyman. There's rumors that Jaron Ennis did turn down the fight, and people are saying that Virgil Ortiz turned down a fight with this guy because he's been out of the ring 1.5 years, right? And after that beating he put on Tim Zhu, he's the boogeyman. Because if these guys wanted belts, they'd have fought him, right? But for some reason they didn't. So he's kind of earned it,
Right.
but the tinfoil hat in me says, yeah, man, that fight is already signed. Josh Kelly and Booty Ennis is already signed if Josh Kelly is to win. So just saying.
Is Eddie Hearn involved in this fight? Is Eddie Hearn with Kelly?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, there you go.
Well,
But-
there
but-
you go.
No. Okay,
well, there you go. I see.
We're jumping to conclusions here.
And
That's true, man.
Murtazaliev is going to, the champion Murtazaliev has to go to Josh Kelly, obviously because that's where the money's at. But still, that's the champion having to go to another guy's contender's backyard.
Now, yeah. Now, like Gypsy said, I mean, Josh Kelly can move around. Maybe he can make it to 12 rounds, and that's enough for some crazy decision to take place. And also, I mean, we're talking about the boogeyman here. How much of a boogeyman is Murtazaliev? Is Kelly gonna fight like Tim Tszyu? Hands down, standing straight up, like neck strained. I mean, that's the thing. Like, come on.
I mean, what's his name?
Like, I think Tim Tszyu made Murtazaliev look like Mike Tyson in there.
It's possible because again, when what's his name? Jack Kolke, who is very tough. He gives. He gave Andrade a very tough fight. I actually, a lot of people, some people feel that Jack Kolke should have won that one. He also gave. Who else did he David Achenko. He gave him a very tough fight. And he was having a lot of success against Murtazaliev. It's just that he ended up crumbling. Now, Murtazaliev's fans, they like to say that no, because he's Muslim and he was training during Ramadan and he didn't eat. I mean, you're allowed to eat during Ramadan. You just got to eat at night. And by the way, a lot of athletes, the dirty little. What's that?
I mean, I don't know. Anyone's gonna work and you just haven't eaten all day until you get home from work. That's like Ramadan.
Well, I was gonna say too that a lot of athletes, the dirty little secret for Muslim athletes is that they can forego Ramadan if it's exceptional circumstances. And for a lot of them, it's like, well, I'm training, it's for my family, and Allah would like me to provide for my family, so therefore I'm gonna circumvent the Ramadan. And I don't necessarily buy this.
I'm gonna eat extra.
Well, you can do there's exceptions.
I'm gonna compensate. I'm gonna eat extra. That's what Silver said. But by the way, yes, I just looked it up. Josh Kelly is with Matchroom. So guys, what Frank and Butch are saying.
There you go.
You never, it's starting to look that way. By the way, Brandon Adams. Brandon Adams.
Hit the like button.
What the hell? Sounded like was that Food TV? Was that Food TV?
Don't forget to hit the like button.
He sounds like that.
Don't forget to hit the like button.
When he does the voice, when he does his Snake Plissken voice, like, this is Food TV.
He does little voices, yeah.
Oh yeah, he
I thought it was his Batman voice.
That's like the smoldering talk of Kobe. Smoldering talk, like badass smoldering of Kobe.
There you go, badass sobers. That's his wrestling nickname. But I was gonna say this though, in regards to the Murtazaliev Kelly fight. Brandon Adams, who's pulled his share of mild upsets in at 154 pounds, and he's on a good run of performances. They asked him about Murtazaliev and a potential fight. He's had this to say. He said, they asked him whether he thinks he's the boogeyman, and he says yes and no. I think like Bucho said, he said I think Tszyu made him look like a killer, and then he says I think Murtazaliev beats. What's his name? Josh Kelly. But Kelly is something different than what he's seen before. The boxing, the slipping, the movement, that could definitely cause problems. So he's not entirely sure that Murtazaliev pulled this one off. Although I will say that Josh Kelly, I don't think he's got a bad chin. I just think he's got bad durability. I think he's weak. I think from round to the next, his stamina just goes completely down. Because when he... A little bit, yeah, because I'm not saying he's a soft white boy. Those are Sobers' words. But what I'm saying is, when he fought Ishmael Davis...
That's exactly what I was trying to say.
All right, no, but when he fought Ishmael Davis, Josh Kelly did, he was looking good, he was clinching, which I dislike. But then in the last round, he got hit with a right hand. He didn't wobble or anything, but he just started running around the ring like he was really fucking hurt or something. I said, what's up with this dude? So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm intrigued, man. I'm intrigued about that Murtazaliev versus Josh Kelly fight, and that's going to be taking place on the Zone. So that's right before the MSG card, which is on the Zone pay-per-view.
You know who I thought was looking soft, and they proved me wrong, BDA? Dalton Smith.
Is that right?
Oh yeah.
I thought he was going to fold under the pressure because he went to fight on the inside with Matias, and I was like, "What's he doing?" He starts getting knocked around. But he came back and showed he's not like that. But yeah, that's not what he's not made out of. He's not cut from the same cloth as Josh Kelly. They're much different.
That remains to be seen. You're absolutely
right. I remember when Josh Kelly was coming up and he was undefeated. They were trying to describe him as the white Floyd Mayweather. Did y'all hear that?
I remember that there was a video.
Y'all remember they used to say that about him?
I do remember. I remember there was a video too from a famous YouTuber who said there was a famous YouTuber who made a video that had, I think, 2 million views or something. It's like the man with the style no one's ever seen before, or something akin to that. I forget. I think it's been taken down, but it was 2 million views, and I'm thinking, holy shit, you really like that? I mean, I don't know. I mean, you got to do what you got to do on YouTube, I suppose. But yeah, I do remember people overhyping him. I remember people overhyping him. Also, this Saturday, we've got Xander Zayas. By the way, this is going to be on whatchamacallit, ESPN Classics on Facebook. So make sure to check that out for free. And if you can't tag on what?
Zayas is fighting on Facebook?
Yes. No, well, the Top Ranks Facebook channel, I believe. So that's where they're
correction.
Only on that channel?
BDA. No, it's on Tubi. You can find it on Tubi.
Oh, good.
And Roku and one other device.
X Video, I think, right? Or am I wrong?
Why don't they just put it on YouTube, man? That would be
It'll be hosted on the hub.
On the hub, yeah.
Google Invites.
Okay. All right.
So they don't have a platform anymore, so they're gonna start doing fights on Facebook. That's crazy.
I mean, what happened to Stars? They said that they were going to be showing fights on Stars eventually. It's been a couple of months now.
They listened to that episode where you mentioned it. They heard us laughing at them. And they, you know what? This is a stupid idea.
We have that much.
They offer.
Yeah, that would be the worst. Imagine that. Like they make their decisions based off what the BDA panel says about them. That would be horrible. That's a horrible business practice right there. But yeah, we got Zayas, 22-0, 13 knockouts, taking on Abbas Barau. Abbas doesn't want to look like an ass. He wants to come out with the win. He's 17-1 with 9 knockouts. And you will remember Barau pulled out one of the big upsets of 2025 when he beat the Cuban Yoenis Tellez, outfought him, outworked him, outdogged him. I guess it's the word, the famous word people would like to use. And now he's taking on Zayas. Guys, one thing I'll say about Zayas, good mover, quick hands. I don't like the clinching, though. When he fought Perez for that WBO strap that he has, he was doing a lot of clinching. He was one of the big clinchers of 2025. What do you think about Zayas? Is he going to live up the hype? And do you expect an interesting fight this Saturday or more clinching against a pressure fighter like Barao?
It's a good pressure test, right?
Yeah,
I think it's a better fight than the one that the layup he was given versus Valenzuela.
Yeah,
I
mean, this African guy looks tough as fuck. Yeah.
He's a little undersized. He's like an Mbili, but a little less skilled and a little smaller.
Stocky. Yeah, short and stocky for a division. Yeah.
I'm just surprised he's German and black at the same time. This just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, that's the new Germany, by the way.
Huh? He's not from Germany. He's from Uganda, I think, or fuck, I don't even know.
They were
Nigeria,
always there. What are you talking about?
But Barao isn't as
that's right, yeah.
he doesn't wade in quite like Mbili. I think he fights a little bit more like Joshua Clottey in some ways. But he's got a good gas tank, though. I mean, the way he closed the show against Tellez, that's indicative of a guy with a lot of stamina. So, again, Zayas this fight is going to be taking place in New York, I believe. Where is it taking place?
No, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I hope we don't see
Puerto Rico.
I'm telling you, I think we're going to see a lot of clinching, man. Again, then again, Subriel Matias was the victim of clinching in his own hometown of Puerto Rico or home country. And so maybe Puerto Ricans don't play. Maybe they let both guys do whatever they want. I don't know. But I'm not too excited. I'm not a big Zayas fan. I'm not that sold on him quite yet.
In the chat, Money Mark says Zayas a fraud. Is that too harsh?
You're just a hater, BDA.
I didn't call him a fraud. What are you talking about?
No. Somebody said in the chat, Money
That's
make.
what I'm saying.
Money
but
Mark
Frank said that I'm a hater. He used the
I
word
don't,
hater.
I mean,
No, you said you weren't high on him. I think you're just being a hater.
Well, I think you might be right. No, I'm kidding. No. Listen, I'm just not sold on him quite yet.
I mean,
that's all I'm
Zayas
saying.
cannot stop this guy, right? He can't stop Barao, right?
I don't
think
know,
he
man.
doesn't have enough punching power.
Yeah, he's not.
I don't think he can. So what's he gonna do? So he
Well,
has
no,
to box him and possibly stall the fight. Yeah.
Mr. BDA, what I mean is, I thought Zayas was the weakest link out of the champions. Fundora,
Right.
Murtazalia, Zayas. But now people are saying that they're really impressed with Zayas, and he's a big guy, man. If you watch the training videos, he looks like a light heavyweight. I may be exaggerating, but they showed. I've seen
he
a
did
video, a
look
clip.
big.
No, he was like with muscle, like 180 with muscle, and he's gonna go all the way down to one. He's showing these clips where he's on 180 full of muscle on the scale, and he's gonna go all the way down to 154. So, this guy's not long for 154, but he's got pillow fists.
A lot of pissing. A lot of pissing to make that weight, bro. A lot of pissing.
A lot of snacks. You got to eat a lot of those snacks, right, to make sure he makes weight.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a big puncher, but this dude is going to be coming at him, so maybe they're different styles. Perez, whom Zayas beat to get that strap, he was a little bit more like a Navarrete, a little bit longer shots, some feints behind him. So Zayas didn't really quite know when to or where the punches were coming from, but nevertheless, he managed to beat him. But again, like I said, a lot of clinching. So I can only expect him to do the same against Barao. And I don't want to have to show up on Sunday saying, oh, fuck this guy, fuck that guy, blah, 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 because I've had enough of clinchers. I want less clinchers on the line.
Why would you fuck this guy and fuck that guy? Come on, man.
What?
Profanity.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
What do you mean? What?
Gypsy,
He said that.
You okay?
He doesn't want to say
yelling at people. Are you yelling at people on the road?
These boxers are no good. He doesn't want to say these boxers are no good.
Well, listen, like
clinchers.
Stu, in the eternal words of Stu, if a fisherman's a bum, I'll call him a bum. If a boxer's a bum, I'll call him a bum. It's the same thing. If a guy is not all that good, I'm gonna call it out. We gotta judge fighters based on their performances too. I mean, what are we gonna judge them of? Their character? Their music.
All right,
taste?
let's move forward with this list.
No,
so
let's not
then we
move
can
forward.
go back to
Let's
the
not
big
move
one.
forward. Let's not move forward. No, okay.
Well, we have
listen.
a William Skull fighting. Okay, William
Oh, my
Skull
goodness.
fighting.
Yes.
From
favorite
Denmark,
fighter.
live from Denmark. The return of William Skull.
That dumbass
mean-
actually said he beat Canelo in his mind.
Yeah.
Where is that fight
I mean,
taking place?
what else can he say?
Where's that fight
Canelo.
taking place?
Denmark.
Denmark. Jeez Louise.
Denmark, yes, sir. That's the main event. Obviously, Jacob Bank against William Skull, 10 rounds, super middleweight. That's on the zone, by the way, guys. If anybody wants to check that out.
On the zone. I mean, can they pay us not to watch it? I mean, they should be paying us rather to watch it. I mean, I don't want to. William Skull. I mean, this is the dude that then said that they told him to throw the fight. Like, no evidence, no nothing. Just, hey, my word. Take my word for it, guys. It's not that I was running around like a backfoot bitch. No, it had to be, they threatened me. Which, again, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that goes on in boxing. I just need a little more evidence than just, trust me, bro. By the way, real quick, on Friday, I don't know if you guys, I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. Friday, there will be some boxing too via ProBox. So like I told you guys, a full lineup of boxing on Friday and Saturday. And, and then on Sunday too, boxing. So yeah, it is a full, yes, it's a full weekend of boxing because we got Paramount Plus, aka TKO boxing coming up. We got Jose El Rayo Valenzuela taking on Diego El Azabache Torres. You might remember Torres as the guy who ended up getting stopped by Murataya a couple of years ago, but Torres is the same age as Murataya, so he might have improved. You got to be wary of these Mexicans who start out their careers very early on because they can take losses, but then by the time they're in their mid-20s or
Who did
late 20s,
Who did he fight? I thought didn't he already fight Morataya?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he's fighting Valenzuela this
Oh,
Saturday.
he's fighting Rayo. He's fighting Rayo.
Rayo, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I get it.
Also
That's
on that
okay.
card, the return of Sergey Boachuk taking on another returning fighter, Razdat Butaev, and also on the other card, Hot Rod Kalashdik, Radovic, I don't even know how you pronounce his first name, Radovic Kalashdik, who ended up giving Morel a very tough fight, takes on the old champ, the old tiger, the old lion, Alexander Gvozev in a 10-round light heavyweight. So again, not exactly marquee pound for pounders, but it's a solid card. Like it's a pro box level, maybe a little bit
Names
above.
we know,
Yeah.
right? Names
By the
we
way,
know, boxes we've seen before in the past, as opposed to like the last card from Paramount Plus from Super.
well, again, keep in mind the
This is
TKO.
Sunday?
TKO never
Yes,
said that they were
Sunday.
going to be putting on the zone level, HBO level type of fights. They said from the get go that in the beginning it was going to be pro box level cards. So I don't know why people were expecting Canelo to fight in there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of,
but it's names that we know.
yeah. Now, of course, Shakur Stevenson is fighting this Saturday, as is his little bro, as he likes to say, Keyshawn Davis. Check out what do you think about? He was on the Custard podcast. What's his name? Custard podcast. Check out what he had to say about Ryan Garcia and how there's double standards about speech in boxing.
All the reaction she gets though on social media.
I told you, people hate winners. People hate winners. Guys like, let's say, Ryan Garcia, could go out there and just say the craziest things and talk a certain way, but when Clorissa do it, it's a big problem. But
by the way, so can you guys hear it?
Hold on.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah,
can hear
I can hear it. I can hear it. So he's saying that when Clorissa says something, it's a big problem. When Ryan says something crazy, it's not a big problem. I think it was a big problem, wasn't it? Whenever
I remember I have downloaded lives. I recorded lives on Twitter where it was like 100 deep of people planning their way of ruining Ryan Garcia's life. They were saying, we want his sponsors, we want to know where he sleeps, I want to know where he stays, who he talks to, where he buys food, so we can tell all those people the things he said, the things he's done. They were trying hard. So there was a pushback on this.
Ruin his life.
And yeah, and they wanted to ruin his life. And this is the thing, though. This is the thing between him and Clorissa Shields, the difference, right? People think Ryan Garcia is attractive, right? There's guys and girls who like him. Nobody thinks Clorissa Shields attractive. She gets no pretty girl privilege. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
Yeah, bro. Like, did you see the lie detector? I'm pretty sure you guys probably saw the lie detector shit that he did on his channel or whatever channel it was on. Who did a lie detector chat? And they asked him the questions that everybody wants to know about the Bohemian Grove to the everything. Like, do you think there was a mole in your camp with the Tank Davis fight? Bunch of questions that everybody wants to know. And some of the questions he answered with like straight up yes. And then the one question that was a fishy one, when they asked him, "Are you gay?" The guy that's monitoring the shit is like, it's fishy. I don't know whether it's yes or no. And they skipped it, and then they came back to that question again about 30-40 minutes later, and then he was more confident to answer no, I'm not gay. And then he was like, yes, he's telling the truth.
You gotta clench your butt cheeks real tight when you're taking a polygraph. You squeeze those ass cheeks real tight and you can pass it because it throws off the machine. Now, some people say that's an urban legend. I have direct experience. I'm telling you, it works. No, I'm kidding. No, but as it pertains to Ryan Garcia and Clorissa Shields, like you guys were saying, yeah, people did jump on Ryan Garcia. Nobody gave, the majority of the people didn't give him a pass because what he was saying was beyond stupid and offensive. And again, I want to reiterate something here. I'm not one of those people that'll tell you, don't be offended by this. I think people have the right to be offended by, they got their own standards. Now, I may disagree with those standards, but I'm never going to tell somebody, you don't have a right to be offended about this. Well, maybe with minimum exceptions, right? But the thing is, it doesn't make any sense. Also, let's not forget, Shakur Stevenson is the guy who beat up, he assaulted a woman and beat up a guy because they were taunting those people. Shakur Stevenson, allegedly, according to the police report, Stevenson and his friends were catcalling the women, harassing them. Their male friends stood up, and Shakur Stevenson and his friends, in true Shakur Stevenson fashion, ended up beating those people up. So I think that was way more offensive than anything Ryan Garcia has ever said, because this constituted assault. Second of all, yes.
No, go ahead.
Well, the WBC also, for a while, they took Ryan Garcia off their ratings, right? Now, of course, in true WBC fashion, they don't really give a shit. They just decided to, they're giving him a title shot now. But what I'm saying is, people could look at that and say, you see, that's a double standard. But hold on, Devin Haney said, I would never let a white boy beat me. So that's disparaging all white people, saying that, oh my God, the implication of that statement was white people are so inferior that it would be a shame and it would be a sacrilege to lose to one in a boxing match, right? The WBC never took him off the ratings or anything. So I think what I'm trying to illustrate here is that it's the internet nowadays. This whole freedom of speech thing, the politically correct agenda, that sort of went through the ringer in the 2010s. We're past that again. We're almost getting back a little bit to the 90s, where people have a little bit more leeway to say whatever they want. And so for Shakur Stevenson to be saying, again, playing victim and saying, wow, Clorissa Shields, she gets a lot of flack, but Ryan Garcia doesn't get any flack. Ryan Garcia got a lot of flack. Teofimo Lopez got a lot of flack. I tell you who didn't get a lot of flack, because Terence Crawford, Shakur Stevenson's big bro, he said something similar during one interview. He said, Teofimo Lopez said, racist thing. That I'm not paraphrasing that. He said racist. You got racist. And if I would have said the things Lopez said, I would have been heavily criticized. I'm thinking, wait a minute, weren't you the guy that told Jose Benavides Jr., I'm going to beat the burritos out of you? And one final thing, Shakur Stevenson's the guy who he said, I'm going to put belt to ass to William Cepeda, and grabbed a belt with the Mexican flag on it and started, whacking it across his hand as if he was slapping an ass. That is, some people could construe that as disrespectful towards a whole nation. So whether you're disrespecting a race, a nation, whatever, disrespect is disrespect. Nobody raised an ire about that. I certainly didn't, because I got a high threshold
You know what it is about Ryan? BDA, you know what's about Ryan that's different from the other clowns, I should say? Is because he doesn't take it serious. I mean, he might say one thing and it doesn't take it to heart. Like if certain things that seriously, like he almost came out and said I'm fucking gay on the fucking thing, bro. Like on his own
you
channel,
keep going back to that, by the way,
and he didn't even give a shit. He didn't even take it serious. But like these guys, like the Keyshawn Davis, the Shakurs, the Clorissa Shields, they every time something, they're scared of people thinking them in a certain way. They're worried about
hold on. I disagree with you. I don't think Keyshawn Davis. I slightly disagree. I don't think Keyshawn Davis really cares. I think he's wasted half the time. So I don't think he cares what people say about him. I think he's got alcohol.
Mr. BDA. Mr. BDA, I think it's simple as jealousy. If he was Rajon Jenkins instead of Ryan, I think they would be okay with it. Nah, I'm dead. It's just jealousy. I think in their minds and their hearts, they think, why is he so popular? We're trying our hardest.
Yeah.
Why is he so popular?
Yeah, and because he's lying. Like we just proved, he got a lot of criticism. Ryan Garcia got a lot of criticism for what he said. So he's blatantly lying. Shakur is lying.
Well, I mean, Floyd Mayweather went on a racist rant about Manny Pacquiao eating dogs and cats, and they love the guy.
They're like, yeah, he's funny. He's true though.
It's just a joke. It's just a joke. It's a joke. You can handle a joke.
Yeah, what I'm saying is people have a right to be offended by whatever they want, but they don't have a right to be going around saying this guy should get his free speech curtailed, or how come they're having more. I mean, listen, some people slip through the cracks.
They can't dole out punishments.
Yeah. Exactly. Devin Haney, nothing happened to him. Ryan Garcia, something happened to him. And like you guys were saying, Mayweather, he got some flack. It happens. Now, I will say this, and I always say this, or most of the time, you can't control what people say, but you can control how you react to it. So that's on you. That you get all the power in the world to create your own world and your own reaction. You don't have to go around saying, "But what about?" Listen, Shakur Stevenson. Let's not forget, he's the same guy that after the Valdez fight, right after when he was doing the press conference, his sister started a riot. There was a physical altercation. There was a near riot. She got arrested or detained. I don't know which, but I think they were putting the cuffs on her. And Shakur Stevenson said, well, what about them? And pointed to another group that they were scuffling with. I'm thinking, the whataboutisms. I mean, he can't take, it's always going to be someone else's fault. What about them? What about them? What about them? Well, what about your sister's behavior?
But they hit her back. But they hit her back, though.
Exactly.
I want to go on record.
They try to fight back. What about them?
I want to go on record to say that I offended recognized Francis, and I want to apologize.
What?
I want to apologize. Just fucking with it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were being serious.
Hey, yo.
Is this the real recognized? I think he was cloned.
No, it's a real recognized.
No, it's no, it's the clone version. Yeah, he's right.
It's the Dulce base. It's a Dulce based base clone from the Vril. That's what Shadowban used to say.
So we can't tell, right? But he has the showbiz eyes now.
yeah. Like
Show
us your eyes, man.
He turned into showbiz.
That's he's a perfect clone except for the eyes.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the giveaway. That's the giveaway.
Oh my God.
But recognize. Good to have you back, man. Good to have you back. What do you think about this Shakur Stevenson saying that there's a double standard, that Clorissa Shields can't say shit without people going at her, but Ryan Garcia, allegedly, according to him, is allowed to just say racist stuff?
I mean, double standards exist. That's just the way it is, right? Now, do I agree with what he's saying? Like, maybe there's some truth to it, but isn't he just bitching at this point? Like, isn't he like one of these guys that, if he was as good as they say he is, would he even care about shit like that? He needs something to talk about because he's boring.
Yeah,
and he's just
why does he care anyways?
Yeah, what do you care about Clorissa Shields
Clorissa,
What the fuck?
What are you guys talking about? Boring stuff?
I heard Sober say it. He's like, look, it is what it is. She's not a good looking woman. Right?
She's like a solid 4 at times, sometimes.
Yeah, like at her
people
best,
aren't going to be nice to you. Yeah, they're going to treat her like an ugly girl. That's what it is.
You know what? I would say this: when she's at her best, like when she's like totally makeup up and everything, she's probably at best a 5, if that.
With the smile, she smiles. She has an okay smile. Her teeth, like she has teeth, they're not all crooked and.
Well, she fixed them. She got some new teeth, so that's what it is.
Look, her boyfriend. That rapper dude from back in the fucking from the 2000s, right? He might think she's very attractive, and that's his that's his opinion. Now, me personally, like a lot of people on this panel and a lot of other people, just don't find her to be attractive. So yeah, we find her to be more annoying. I don't follow woman boxing at all, but from the way I understand it, she has like no knockouts. You know what I'm saying? So she's
exactly.
She's garbage.
She really can't.
She's garbage.
That's the thing, though. Shakur Stevenson, in the beginning of that video, said people hate a winner. So he's saying that the reason why she gets a lot of criticism is because she's a winner. In other words, jealousy. But what about the fact that she's always putting down other female boxers on Twitter? Every time I go on Twitter and I somehow see she's always complaining about something or somebody. Then she goes into a show that's talking about her, and she goes in pretending to be somebody else, and then halfway through she can't even keep her story straight and starts admitting, yeah, it's me. I mean, no, she didn't even admit. She just changed it halfway through to, you guys are talking about me. It's like, what the fuck? I thought you. I mean, it's just that's why people.
Funny. That was so funny.
Let me tell you how much of a coward she is. You know, Serrano actually came out and wanted to fight Amanda Nunes as a replacement for the UFC card that just happened. She wanted to fight her in the main event. And guess who? And look, that lady, she's a small lady, Serrano, right? She was gonna fight her. Where was Clorissa Shields? She's around
where was Clorissa Shields?
Yeah, where was she? Why did she call her out? Right?
Pussy clad.
Because she knows she would have got knocked out. Maybe.
I mean, I don't know.
Because that would have been a boatload of money if she would have stepped in and says, "I'll fight her right now." Right? She didn't want to do that. That would probably be the biggest pay to her of her entire career, of her whole life.
I mean, I got to tell you.
Serrano was like, I'll take it, give it to me.
I mean, listen, we're wasting our time talking about female boxing, but I just thought it was funny that Shakur Stevenson saying, if people hate Clorissa Shields and she can't say anything, but Ryan Garcia can't. Nah, man, you disrespect an entire nation. You punch women. You talk about how you're going to put belt to ass and then you don't 3 times or 4 times in a row. That's more offensive. To me, he can say whatever he wants about Mexico, about human beings, whatever. To me, the offensive thing is that offends me, though. That's where I draw the line. When he says he's going to do this and then I'm going to beat this guy's ass and then he goes in there and doesn't do shit. That, to me, is offensive. And I'm not going to... I'm going to start a new
It went
group.
from belt to ass to feather to ass.
Feather to ass.
Maybe,
all right. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, look,
when you're done, I got some videos to play later.
Recognize, made it clear the reason why people dislike Clorissa Shields is because she's ugly.
I think
and then on top of that, she doesn't have anything to offset. Like, okay, look,
well, she punches hard in Shakur.
Looks are an opinion. Looks could be just an opinion, right? But I think when the general consensus that she's not like one of the most attractive women out there. That's that's probably
Well, her attitude has a lot to do with it.
That's your opinion, but continue.
Yeah, her attitude.
But then
makes her
your boxing style is like you're not even a crusher. You're not like going in there beating the shit out of women, knocking them out. I saw her record. Like I finally looked up her record. It was like, dude, I think it's like 16 wins and like 4 knockouts. It's like, dude, you're garbage.
Like nothing. No knockouts.
Yeah, you're garbage.
She got the big giant ass. I thought they said like the big ass equals like a big power in your hands. Bernard Hopkins said that once.
Hey, then how come I punch hard though? I got no ass and I punch very hard. So, or does that only apply to women though?
Yeah, but it's what you think is a big ass.
Well,
I don't know. I watched like 2 fights of hers. She has good technique for a woman, like compared to her, but like the power is completely lacking, and yeah, it's terrible.
Hey, by the way,
translator her power very well. I think she
we were
probably does.
talking about.
She got massive legs.
All right. Yeah. Listen, enough about Clorissa Shields. The last episode we were talking about Andre Ward and how he doesn't really bring up his Irish heritage enough, though. Which is again, there's a long history of Irish boxing, but he doesn't seem to want to talk about it. Shout out to Irish Andre Ward on the Discord who showed us a real look at that. That's the real Andre Ward there when he's not putting on the. Yeah, I think this is the real Andrew Ward that he doesn't want people to see.
Oh, yeah.
I think he does something to himself before he goes on camera.
That's before he took those pills from the movie Soul Man.
Yeah, exactly.
You ever saw that film? He didn't take enough of them.
Maybe, man, maybe.
He took like half a tablet. He broke one in half.
Real quick, in the news as well, Arul Hawani was going at Max Kellerman saying, you can be supportive of TKO, the company you work for, but you don't have to go that far. So we got some inter-Hebrew dialogue and infighting.
We saw that in the last time I was on there. It was the whole J on J violence.
Exactly. That J on J violence. There you go. Also, the WBO president saying this. Let me just put it up on the screen here real quick. He said that he was congratulating Murataya for his win over Andy Cruz, and he said, just watch Murataya Cruz, high-level world championship bout. Murataya delivered a terrific performance while blah, blah, blah. And then he goes, exceptional talent. The lightweight division is fire. And then at the end, he wrote, belts matter. So these people are feeling the pressure from TKO. That remember, the WBO 15 years ago was a second-rate belt, kind of like the IBO. Nobody really paid much attention to it. People said it was only like a European belt of sorts. Now, all of a sudden, 4 belts, the unification, undisputed in the 4-belt era. These guys are feeling the pressure that there might be a new world order, for lack of a better term, as it pertains to boxing, and it's one without so many belts. So I like how he had to put that at the end there. Belts matter, really? Maybe to fighters, but fans were getting sick of that. Also in the news...
What is it when you can get emailed the belt? Like, does it really matter that much? Like, you don't have to even beat somebody to get a belt?
Exactly. When they get a FedEx belt, I think that really waters it down. Also, Eddie Hearn, we talked about how he said that Anthony Joshua is not talking about fighting anytime soon. But then they asked him, this is a new quote about whether he's going to come back. He says, yeah, I feel like he's going to return to the sport. But when the time is ready, if that time ever comes again, it will come from Anthony Joshua. So he thinks that Joshua will return. Speaking of returning, Daniel Dubois, who left Don Charles for a little bit there, finally returns to Don Charles's house. So he's going to keep him as a trainer. And I think that's a good move because Don Charles was indeed... listen, the guy was 3-0 for a while there. I mean, not 3-0, but he went on a 3-fight winning streak under Don Charles. Also, Diego Pacheco, apparently he's a free agent now. And he sought the management services of Sheer Sports Management. And they say, Diego represents everything we look for in a fighter. Discipline, maturity, and elite level talent. Now, they didn't talk about whether he's exciting or not because I don't think the track record isn't all that impressive when it comes to entertainment factor. But again, Diego Pacheco is young, so maybe he can improve. But there you have it right there. And one last thing I'll mention here before we move on to something else. And don't forget, we're doing a second Renaissance after this, so we got to be out of here by 9 o'clock. But
whoa!
Actually, I'll save this for later. Bucho, you had something you wanted to play?
Yes, I was watching. Sorry. Some preview of Lopez against Shakur Stevenson. This is from the Ring Magazine channel, and you have Malik Scott saying some very interesting things, and I wanted to know what you guys think about this. So now let me just play it here. All right, hold on. This Kellerman.
Are you playing it?
Yes, you can hear it.
No, we can't hear it. No.
Oh shit! Sorry, man. You should have said
But Meldrick could give him angles that were more difficult. I think of Roy Jones, James Tony. If you were going to go at
Wait, hold on.
Oh, man,
James Tony,
voice.
forget it. His defense is too good. But Roy had the feet to move around James Tony, and maybe Teo has the feet to move around Shakur.
I seriously doubt it, man. Shakur is a whole different type of animal. His ring IQ is up there with the best.
That's Malik Scott, man. Just like glazing this guy, fucking Shakur Stevenson.
He's a pussycat. Teo got the dog.
Getting literally, I don't know how many times we've seen 2 pound-for-pound fighters sparring each other. Shakur Stevenson is getting top quality work, literally top quality work. And that makes me want to ask, like, I wonder how he look at his opponents after boxing Bud so many times and always in camp with Bud and not just.
So he's always with Bud now, so Shakur has that advantage apparently.
Bud is just so slippery. That's why he's getting his face punched off by Sean Porter and many other fighters.
Exactly.
Right? So good, slippery.
I got another clip here, the last one. Yeah, go ahead.
I said, did he say that Shakur's a different animal? Yeah, he's a kangaroo. He's always bouncing away.
No.
Yeah, it's just funny because he kept glazing the guy. Oh, it's a commercial.
Always. Oh, we can't move. Teo can't move like Shakur. Yeah, he moves better.
That voice.
Quinn, they are different animals. James Tony is a panther, and he's a kangaroo.
Jeez, Luis.
What's up, recognize?
How dare you?
Doing good, Quinn.
This is an interesting one. They're gonna talk about Shakur not beating people up, but Malik Scott disagrees. He's like, yeah, he puts on a different type of beating. All right, and he's gonna explain.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Gentle beating.
Yeah.
Gentle beating.
Now, Shakur Stevenson might box the bleep out of guys. He doesn't really beat the bleep out of anybody. What do we think of this?
Wait, hold on.
He's copying me, that piece of shit.
Box
the bleep
beep out of anybody. What do we think of this?
But from a boxing perspective, a lot of people would consider if you're a boxer, like, Buddy McGirt is my guy, but I would consider in the second fight, I would consider that as a beating Pernell Whitaker.
He's talking about Pernell Whitaker against Buddy McGirt.
Could put on him from a boxer standpoint. I would say what Shakur did to Cepeda in a good fight.
Stop calling
he
Shakur.
really beat him up.
I mean, Terrence Crawford.
Did you hear what he said? He beat up Cepeda. Like,
That's so fake.
Listen to
He didn't beat up Cepeda. He didn't.
Yeah, he said like he beat him.
Shakur did to Cepeda in a good fight. He really beat him up.
I mean, Terrence Crawford beats guys up.
Not punishing.
Marvin Hagler beat guys up.
Very punishing, but I'm talking about from a boxer back foot type of guy.
Yeah.
He really put a number on Cepeda.
He did. He
boxed women up.
No, he didn't.
From a boxing perspective, he put on a beating. From a boxing perspective, recognized.
Boxing?
He had best edged out Cepeda. He edged him. He didn't. You see, this is what I'm saying when it comes to boxing and it's in the media. It's like, dude, you're forcing a guy like Shakur down the boxing public's throat. That's what you're doing. You're telling them, no. I know he didn't beat him up like the classic old legends do. No, what he did was, I'm going to tell you what he did. It's something different and it equals a beating. It's like, no, a beating is a beating. You don't have to explain a beating.
What I saw definition of words now.
Yeah, what I saw was him on the back foot constantly, him getting hit more than ever in any fight. I've seen him get hit more in that fight than he's ever gotten hit, right? And to me, it looked about even. At the very least, it looked even to me.
I mean, Cepeda
when I was watching that.
Well, I'll say this, man.
Exactly.
I'll say this. According to CompuBox, and again, they're not exact, but according to CompuBox, Stevenson landed 295 out of 565 shots. Cepeda landed 272 out of 979. So there was only about a 23 punch difference in landed punches. Now, Cepeda kept coming forward throughout the fight. Cepeda kept coming throughout the fight. If indeed Stevenson landed 200, that's close to 300 shots against a come forward slugger, wouldn't you expect Cepeda to be reeling and falling down and catching a couple of knockdowns against him? Like that's you. If you first of all, I don't even believe that both guys landed that amount of shots. But even if it was true, how is it? So so a 23 punch difference in connect. So that means Cepeda beat him up too then.
Absolutely.
Or from a
He
boxing
did.
perspective, Malik Scott says from a boxing perspective is different, right?
But you see how people have to change it. Like Recognize said, like they have to change the wording of things to try to tell you that something that didn't happen really did happen. It's like when people say this guy whooped that guy, he whooped him. It's like what? Like whoop? What's your definition of whooping? Though?
You see, in any other sport, right? In any other sport, when you think of sports, right, that we watch, you don't have to explain the home run. You don't have to like try to, that's the home run to be something other than a home run. Touch two. You don't have to dress it up. A slam dunk, right, or a 3-point shot. It is what it is. What Malik Scott is saying, and this is why I say, there's plants in the boxing. Like I think boxing is the easiest sport to like, or it's the sport that does it the most, where they put these plants in, like a Shakur Stevenson, like a Devin Haney. That's not to say they don't have no talent. They obviously do. They're just not the most talented guys for the group. Because you wouldn't have to dress it up. First of all, let's address the obvious. They're bigger than every opponent that they go in the ring with. No matter whether they're moving up in weight, same weight, whatever the fuck. They're bigger than everybody. They fight on the back foot. Most of, like Julio says, and I agree with Food TV on this. Usually the guy who's being controlled in the ring, technically he's losing the fight most of the time. Now there are some nuance, right? So if I'm moving backwards and I'm just tagging you up the whole night, and I don't have to come forward, okay, that's different. That's totally different. But if the fight's even in terms of punches, but I'm being, I'm the aggressor, you're on the back foot, generally speaking, I'm winning the fight. And it's not that hard.
Well, you know what? Sometimes in the chat, Ricardo makes a good point. He says a beating is what Navarrete did to Valdez. That's a good point because I remember after that fight, I pointed something out and I brought up the headlines to show it. I mean, he busted off Valdez's face. Now, did he drop him and stomp him? No. But throughout the fight, Valdez's face got progressively worse. He was eating flush shots, getting backed up. He got staggered in that fight. I'm not saying necessarily that was the beatdown of a lifetime, but it was more of a beatdown than what Stevenson did to Cepeda. And I'll say this. I put up the headlines after the fight. What were the headlines? Navarrete upends Valdez in a Mexican shootout. Or near Mexican classic. That they kept saying shootout, classic, war. It was a one-sided fight for the most part. And Navarrete didn't run. He went after Valdez, and even then didn't get hit with that many flush shots. It was a very good performance from Navarrete. But you see how the media likes to change things, or people can just do that whenever they want, if they're very good at manipulating language or PR.
Well, I mean, best example of that is Canelo Crawford, the commentators. He just tried to shape the whole thing out. I mean, what was it? If you guys know what you just watched at the end. What did Kellerman
what you just saw?
Canelo wants to be friends.
Canelo
Crawford
got his ass whooped. Canelo's trying to make friends.
That's a great. That's a great example what you just brought up, right? The Canelo. Now look, can you say that Canelo lost that fight? Yeah, you could say that. I would probably agree with you.
Can you say that
he got dominated? I could see. You see, this is where the narrative on what you're listening to starts. This is what they do. So what he's trying to sell you is that this fight wasn't competitive at all.
Oh yeah,
it was a masterclass.
A whooping.
It was one of the best performances I've seen. But if to judge it objectively, like they're supposed to, this is a competitive fight that, in reality, could have went either way. Could have went either way.
That was the only ring general in there for the most part was Canelo. Wasn't Crawford. I mean, he wasn't. Yeah, the only time Canelo was pushed back was when he wanted to get pushed back. He went back. And
I will say the one who landed the most. The one that landed the flashier punches, not the most effective. I'll say the flashier punches was Terrence Crawford. Okay,
I thought Canelo's work was actually really good. There was one time he popped his head up with an uppercut hand with straight right, 2 bombs in a row. Like Crawford.
No, to your point,
it was amazing.
I'm gonna bring it back to your point. Food TV is, yeah, when a guy's mainly the aggressor, you better believe he's landing his shots. And if you're paying attention to boxing, if you're like, look, I'm truly not biased. I'm just going to score the fight as it comes to me. You will see that fight could have went either way. And if you would have not had a problem with anybody who said, I scored it for Canelo because of his aggression throughout the fight.
Yeah.
If you're just scoring it.
Yeah, let's get back to, because now we're getting stuck with the Canelo Crawford
kind of the
thing again.
the narrative.
Yeah, shout out to
Look. We know what the narrative is. Bucha, we know what the narrative is. I'm pretty confident in saying this. Teofimo has to do a lot more to win this fight
we talked about it.
than Shakur does.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
And
that's
the
question is, what can Teofimo Lopez do to win this fight? It's not about Shakur. It's about Teofimo Lopez doing something, and Shakur only has to show up.
I would say get on the back foot. Get on the back foot for at least half of the fight. For the first half, he should make Shakur come to him. Because Shakur don't know how to fight.
All right,
if he doesn't, then Teo gets to clown him and laugh and do all kinds of stuff.
No, but the commentators are saying that Shakur should just sit back and do his thing.
Yeah.
Ucho, I got a comment for the panel and in the chat, and if they want to answer this, I'm going to play you a scenario. That fight between Teo and Shakur turns out to be exactly like Zepeda and Shakur, except the role that Teo's going to play is the Shakur role. Who wins the decision?
Oh,
they probably would give it to Stevenson. Yeah,
of course. They're going to say he was the aggressor. He was the aggressor. They're going to say
you weren't expecting that. Hey, you weren't expecting that. He went out of his comfort zone. He did something that you guys thought he couldn't do. He pulled it off, and he blah blah. Now he had him on the back. He won.
Lopez
Anything Shakur does is going to be like great.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. What you do, because he's going to look like shit. Shakur would look like garbage because he's going to get him out of position. He's not used to that style. So what you do is the first 5 or 6 rounds, you are the back foot guy, and then the last 6,
that'd be
you
funny.
close it strong. You close it strong with aggression, and you just try to piece them up. Just unload on.
Yeah. What were you saying? What's that?
I'm not saying that's how the fight's going to turn out. What I'm saying is I'm playing a hypothetical. If the fight turned out that way, I know what the narrative would be. They'll be like, wow, did you see how aggressive Shakur Stevenson was?
Well, can I say something
and he
about
won
that?
the fight.
I'm saying it's hard to have that narrative when Teo ends the fight very strong, starts it with the running, and then ends it with beating the shit out of him.
Well, I'm glad we went back to that fight because we still have about 23 minutes left here, and again, we're doing a second renaissance after this, so make sure to go on over there. Our Rumble, I'm going to be posting the link here in a little while. But I'm glad we went back to the Shakur Stevenson Teofimo Lopez fight because we sort of waded through it to try to get to everything else. But I will say this: you guys are making excellent points about that fight. It's a very intriguing fight. But going back to tying this to what we're talking about, when people say whoopings and beatings and this and that. I'm looking at Twitter and other comment sections on forums and all that, and I'm hearing people saying Shakur Stevenson is going to whoop Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, I mean, look, he tried whooping Hartunonian, and that didn't happen. And so to try to justify it in his mind, Stevenson made up this whole thing about how Hartunonian was running away from him. He actually said that you put on your track shoes, champ. It's like, what? Like, he stood in front of Shakur Stevenson. So I'm thinking this dude is not really quite there heck of a boxer, but that doesn't mean you're sane. And so when people are saying that he's gonna whoop Teofimo Lopez, what do they see happening? In fact, Timothy Bradley just recently made a video where he said that Shakur Stevenson should walk Teofimo Lopez down. I'm thinking, I don't think this guy wants to walk anybody down.
That's comedy.
Yeah, he's going to get countered to hell if he tries to do that. That's a terrible
Shakur
style.
already said he's going to do what he has to do to win the fight. He's going to do what he has to do. What does that mean? Well, you know what that means. That guy's not going to be the one coming forward or engaging. He's going to be on the back foot. He wants to be the counter puncher, obviously. But it'd be funny because FUTV said, imagine that Teofimo Lopez is the one on the back foot. It'd be funny if he's on the if Lopez starts on the back foot and Shakur just stands there in the middle of the ring like, oh my god, what do I do? You know.
But you know what? I don't understand. I don't know how a guy whips you with pillows. That's crazy.
But you know what? To Fu's point though, because we talked about that off the air. It was Sobers, Vessel, a couple of other people, and we were rewatching the Los Santos versus Shakur Stevenson. And we were having a little bit of a debate here because Vessel and I were wondering, well, what happens if Teofimo Lopez, what happens if Teofimo Lopez says, you know what, I'm going to literally back foot bitch it in the ring and do what Stevenson did to the Los Santos. And because then we said, well, that Shakur Stevenson is going to have to go at him and he's uncomfortable taking the first step. opening up first with the punches. And then Sobers said, yeah, but I don't think that's going to work. And I think, oh, well, Sobers is here. Sobers, can you just remind us what your point was when Vessel and I were saying about, well, maybe Teofimo Lopez should back foot bitch it against Stevenson?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. You're saying, well, my point was when you're saying that, okay, so if Teofimo Lopez were to go into the ring and say, oh, I'm going to lead you, I'm going to make you follow me, and I'm going to do the back foot bitch thing, what they'll say is, oh, Stevenson's coming forward. He looks like a killer. Look, he's pushing Teofimo back. He's scared.
That's what I said.
He's scared.
Yeah, exactly.
Lopez has to come forward. He has to do what Stevenson. He has to do what Stevenson does better, right? The same thing that Murataya did to Cruz. Stick to him like glue, outbox his ass, and make it undeniable.
That's a good point. That's a good point because I didn't expect Murataya. I didn't expect Murataya to power up the way he did. So I'm wondering, hey, maybe Teofimo Lopez could do that. But also to Sobers' point, though, what we saw that, what his example of that, when if Teofimo Lopez back foot bitches it, they're going to give credit. I'm talking about the commentators and a lot of the media members. They're going to give Stevenson the credit because look at what happened during the Isaac Cruz versus Lamont Roach fight. Isaac Cruz said, you know what, I'm going to back foot bitch it later on in the fight. And what did the commentators say? Oh, Lamont Roach made him switch up plans. That means Lamont Roach is having success. But when other fighters do that,
right? The narrative we spoke about.
They're adapting, right? They're adapting. Look at how versatile they are.
To use those veteran tactics,
but
go right to the lower part of the body.
At some point, I said Cruz actually stood in the middle of the ring. Oh, stood in the middle of the ring. He decided to stop chasing Roach. And remember what Roach did? He didn't know what to do. He just stood there. It looked ridiculous because nobody was doing anything, right? Because Cruz stopped chasing the guy, and so
he laughed at him and smiled.
Yeah,
and did a weird.
Yeah, he laughed at him.
Like he is frustrated.
He's frustrated.
You never see Pitbull Cruz do that. You know he's in his head. Shut the fuck up.
Rhodes put his head down and a tear came out of his eye.
Yeah, Cruz.
Were you trying to say something? Recognized?
Pitbull won that fight, but to your point, I wanted to bring this up because you just brought it up, and I realized you brought it up first. What I said to the panel was this: if the fight, this is hypothetically speaking, if that fight, Tio Shakur, was to turn out exactly the performance from both fighters, like Shakur Stevenson's last fight was the payday.
Yes.
Except that Tio will play the Shakur role. How would they score that fight? We know what they would score.
Right.
They would score it for the aggressor, for Stevenson. It's just like,
of course, he's the aggressor, like you said earlier.
This is why I just say, look, man, and you can see it throughout these guys' careers. You can see it with Devin Haney's last fight. The guy barely fought aggressive, and he got all this praise for beating a guy who turned out to be very flawed. Right? I even forgot his fucking name, but whatever.
Brian Norman Jr.
Yeah, Brian Norman Jr.
Norman Jr. Yeah, Brian Norman.
He forgot his fucking name.
Forgot his fucking name, bro. But anyway, my point is that you could see this. And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I think Full TV misunderstood me. Like, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm saying, hypothetically speaking, if that fight turned out that way, which goes to show you the bias in commentary when it comes to boxing, or at least the people that they put up there, that they would get. In other words, my point is, Teofimo has to do way more to win the fight. He has to.
Yeah. The standards are different.
The standards are different.
They're different. Yeah. Because I was telling some people, I think yesterday, I was telling them about the Canelo Golovkin fight. Remember, Canelo's running away the whole time, and the commentators not to say that Canelo won the fight. I thought he lost it, but he actually did do decent in there. He was landing a lot of counter punches, some decent work, but he was expected to come forward and fight him, right? Since he's back foot bitching it, they shit all over him, and universally they said Canelo lost. Of most people, even the commentators. But if
I think he lost the first fight,
shit. The first fight.
Which fight are you talking about? Are you talking about the first fight, right?
The first fight, yes, the first fight. He's on the back foot. But when he does it, he's very clearly lost the fight. Triple G's the ring general. He's a forward aggressor.
Right.
And universally, people say that this guy. But when it's Shakur, And the other guys are in general, now Shakur, he looks so amazing. He's winning the fight every
True.
round.
True.
You see who?
There's
You
a
know,
double
here's what I would
standard
say:
there,
the
right?
difference
Go ahead,
between
go ahead.
Canelo and a guy like Shakur. Canelo got criticized by the mainstream public. He did, right? And you could say rightfully so. And I would say, yeah, rightfully so.
Yes.
He got a gift decision. It was a draw, basically. It was a draw. The first, we're talking about the first fight.
The first one.
He got a gift, he got a gift decision on a fight that he probably should have lost. But at least there was criticism. There is no
what I'm
attempt.
saying is that there's that double standard, and universally, even the commentator said
And I,
that
you know,
Triple G
when I
won.
saw it so blatantly, it was so blatant the first time when Andre Ward clearly lost the first fight to Kovalev. The media did not know what to say. They just stood shut. They were like, well, we're gonna keep our mouth shut for this one. We're not even gonna say.
One thing I will say though is that I was surprised though that he did. Shakur Stevenson did get criticism for the De Los Santos fight because there was no way they could cover that up. You know what I mean? Because it was on ESPN. It was a heavily hyped fight, and they couldn't hide that. So, but I mean, to be fair, the Shakur Stevenson, he's only really fully back foot bitched it against Nakatila and against De Los Santos. Now, the big problem is when we talk about the ass style, we're not necessarily talking about runners. That includes the two pillars or ass cheeks of the ass style rather are the no punching. It's the stalling. So whether you're clinching, running, not throwing punches, that is stalling.
Can you clarify? Can you clarify clinching with the ass style?
Come on, you're gonna pull that one where you know what do you mean by clinching? Because there's a difference between clinching and holding. No, fuck it. If I grab onto you,
I mean like because you're talking about ass. You know, you can clinch your cheeks, right?
That is true though. That is true. But you get my point, right? And so so to recognize this point, it is true though that Shakur Stevenson he has taken criticism, but there has been a little bit of a
but that built his redemption arc, right? It kind of
exactly. It's used to his benefit. Yeah. Now I wanted to show you guys something because we're moving on to Second Renaissance after this in about 13 minutes, so we still have some time here. But I wanted to show you this. Devin Haney went on Twitter, on Instagram or Twitter, whatever, and he said he criticized Keyshawn Davis for celebrating that his Olympic rival Cruz ended up taking a loss, right? And you know, a lot of people have been criticizing him, by the way. So Devin Haney jumped on the bandwagon. He said this. He said, "I be mad when my rivals lose. I be mad. I be mad when my rivals lose because I be thinking like, damn, that could have been me beating them." And then somebody posted this. I was waiting for somebody to post it. Him celebrating with his father there. You can see embracing when Lopez lost against Cambosos. And then people started defending Haney, and he went with it too later. He said, "No, but Teofimo Lopez said he was never going to fight me. So I was rooting for him." It's like, nah, bullshit, man. I mean, it's the same thing. Listen, are you really going to believe the same guy who pretended like he wanted to fight Lomachenko back in 2019, knowing he was only a 21-year-old greenhorn whose best opponent at the time was what's his name, the Panamanian guy? Anyway, I forget. It was undefeated Panamanian guy. But then they ran with that. The Bill Haney is the architect behind it. He's the mastermind. Oh, we want to fight Lomachenko. They had no intention of fighting Lomachenko, and here he's making it seem to be like he really wanted to fight Teofimo Lopez. And then, which is funny because Teofimo Lopez did swerve him last year, but it was almost like payback for Ray, man. It's the same bullshit you pull up as well. So what's good for the goose?
Those dudes are always letting the cat out the hat. Remember when Manny Pacquiao lost to what's his name, Ugas, and Earl Spence put all these happy smiley faces on the internet?
Really?
Dumb motherfucker. He's a dumb fuck.
What?
He just showed that he ducked out on that fight because they know they couldn't pay Manny off, right? Ugas probably was there not to really hurt that guy. So this dude's jumping up in joy that he's going to get to fight Ugas. He lost the biggest payday of his entire career, and he's happy about it. That just shows you how shook he was. And that's an old fucking Manny. That dude was shook. They bait and switched Manny in that fight. They gave him the bait and switch. I'm going to fight Manny. And boom, then he jumped out there. That was supposed to be Manny's ass whooping he gave to Earl Spence, not Crawford.
It's like Fundora against...
It's called the Guatemalan snatch away.
The Guatemala, that's true.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
true.
exactly
And you guys made a good point about Keyshawn Davis celebrating when Cruz lost, and you guys are saying, and look at Shakur Stevenson too. Teofimo Lopez called him out on it, and it shook Shakur Stevenson when he said, "I already know your plan. If you plan to beat me, and then you're gonna give the belt to Keyshawn, and you guys are never gonna fight each other, and you guys pick and choose, and that's why Keyshawn." So
shut up! What you talking about? And how you know? You got mad.
Who made you? I don't know who made you. Boxing's God.
Marquez. He tried to use Marquez as a way to duck Manny. Remember?
Well, I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Look, Floyd beat Marquez so easy, and Marquez knocked out Manny. Right? That's how Floyd tried to get away.
The triangle theory type of thing.
Then what happened when Floyd stepped in there with Manny? If anybody almost got knocked out, it was Floyd.
Yep.
The super bitch came out in that fight. He
That's what it
wasn't too
was.
strong anymore.
Break.
He's like, guess what?
Yeah,
I'm
call
ready
Kenny
for my
Bayless.
life.
Yeah, Kenny Bayless did a great job in that.
Don't punch.
He did.
I'm telling you, I'm very worried about this Harvey Duck character refereeing this fight. And then we got Tim Cheatham, who scored. Listen, I thought Murataya won the fight, but 118, 110. I don't know.
Cheatham.
I don't know.
Will they
And
cheat?
he's the referee this Saturday. I mean, the judge. And Harvey Duck.
Who's the commentators? What? Tim Bradley,
that was a nice
Kellerman,
fight,
Andre Ward. Is that what they're gonna have there?
Yeah, who are the commentators?
Terrence Crawford, I heard, is going to be one of the commentators.
Oh, no.
It's Keyshawn Davis.
And, Keyshawn Davis.
After
Davis.
Let me check.
Clorissa Shields.
I have a question about Keyshawn Davis. If Jermaine Ortiz
winning every round.
If Jermaine Ortiz pulls off the upset and gets a decision, does Keyshawn Davis pull a James Butler?
Oh.
Yes.
I mean.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
They might. Max
Kind of looks like, or he's got the crazy
There he
eyes,
is.
weird doo-doo haircut. It kind of
Looks
looks
like
like
Celebrity Deathmatch. Remember that show?
Yeah, the clay.
on MTV.
Like Jermaine Ortiz goes over to shake his hand and he just punches him, bare knuckle.
Oh, yeah, he would do that. Imagine Shakur did that to Tio after the fight, and Tio's like, wait, did a fly just hit me? He said, you got some flies in here.
But remember when, which one of you pointed this out? Let me see if this works. Remember Harvey Duck? No, it doesn't work. Fuck. Harvey Duck was the referee for Resendiz versus Caleb Plant. And he was warning Resendiz for this and that. Wasn't really warning Plant for much. And then when
he was warning Resendiz for beating up Caleb Plant. Basically, that's what he was doing.
Oh,
yeah, so. And that's the other thing, though, is he allowed Tevin Farmer to clinch Cepeda a lot in the first fight. But then when he was refereeing the Chukadasian versus Ennis rematch, he took a point off of Chukadasian for clinching. So now he also allowed Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney to just go at it in that fight. Although he allowed both guys to clinch, but then he drew the line at the kidney punching, which I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. Ryan Garcia's doing the Boosie roll. He's turning his back to Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney should have had the right to hit him in the kidneys because it's the other guy who's turning
to do that. I mean, that's like he hit him in the back of the head a lot too. Haney, he hit Ryan many times right in front of the ref, and the ref was saying that's legal, and that
wait,
that's just illegal. Those are intentional kidney punches. That's
didn't we get to argument the other day?
Just lost a point for a kidney punch.
In a position to be hit like that's how come Viterbi and Rabbit punches somebody. You say, oh, well, they're putting their head in the position.
Wait, say it again. No, Haney did it intentionally. Look, there's a big difference between in the middle of a punch, someone turns their head, and a guy literally just clinched up with a guy and boom, and he hits him. Or the guy's turned, like you say, the pussy roll or whatever, and he's turned, and the guy just sees the spot and boom, and hits him 6 times there in a row. They're all intentional. You can actually disqualify a guy for that because those aren't unintentional illegal blows. Those are all intentional. It's like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, the fact that he punches like a bitch and there was no effect is irrelevant.
Yeah,
but if it was the right fight,
like
the other way around. If he hits you,
it's not Ryan's fault that this guy punches like a bitch. It's not his fault.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if Ryan had crushed his fucking liver and with 6 hooks to his back, it would have been a problem, right?
But look at Pitbull. The other day, Pitbull was fighting Roach. He hits this guy with this small shot. It was on the hip. It wasn't even on the kidney, and it's an accidental blow. They take a point away. But that was unintentional. This guy Haney hits this guy with 6 kidney punches in a row, and that wasn't the first time he's hitting this guy with kidney punches. He hit him through the whole fight with rabbit punches and kidney punches, and then right in front of the ref, he hits him with 6 kidney punches. So obviously they wanted that guy to win. It's just more of the double standard.
It reminds me of that. Y'all seen that little clip of Shakur Stevenson when he was an amateur, and the referee says break to the 2 fighters, and I guess Shakur Stevenson acted like he didn't hear him, and the other guy kind of lets go. And Shakur Stevenson just hits him 5 times in the face.
Did it do anything?
The guy's head barely moves, and he just.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen that one. Yeah.
He's like, "Hey guys, I think the sprinkler system's on. I just got hit with I got hit with a couple doinks.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
back then
like
when
you can almost hear the little air squeakies.
Yeah.
Like the little dog toy. Like, "Boink, boink, boink."
Yeah. And the dude just puts his hands up like, what the fuck was that?
By the way, we're migrating real soon over to Second Renaissance. I don't know which one of you guys wants to jump on, but we're just going to talk about some of the things.
What are we going to be talking about?
Are you
Don't forget to hit the like button.
Gonzalo
Well,
said
see-
he wanted to
Don't
debate
forget
me
to
on the
hit the
second
like button.
Renaissance.
No, that shit ain't going to
forget to
happen,
hit the
man.
like
I mean,
button.
come on. What the fuck?
Don't forget to hit the like button.
I mean,
Don't forget
yeah,
to
I'll
hit
tell
the
you.
like button.
No, but no, PDA, but he said I'm going to debate you on the second Renaissance. I was like, about
Yeah, you know, I told him stay off the internet, and I'm telling you right now, because some people are probably gonna wonder why he's not showing up. I mean, if people have listened to your shows, they know what state of mind he's in right now. But I'm not talking to the guy unless he sobers up. That's all I'm saying on the air. That's all I'll say about that. Another
Are you
thing.
trying
Okay,
to
so
confuse the masses?
one thing I'll say about the second Renaissance. So we got to talk about there was a big plane accident in Bangor, Maine, and a private jet overturned and it exploded. And people are saying that Stephen King. The rumor is Stephen King was on that plane. Also, we're going to talk about some people.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to talk about people who are grave robbing. I'm talking about a digital satanic cult that's supposedly making kids do nasty things.
Oh wow.
Supposedly, some people are immune to viruses. They're mutants. Giant black bears living under people's houses. AI taking over Hollywood. Just a whole bunch of things. So if anybody wants to jump on.
Where's the link? Where's the link?
Shit. Well, I'm going to put it up. But while I do that, I want to show you guys one last thing here because we got to go soon. Hold on. Jeez, Louise. I'm talking about. I'm going to put up. I'm going to put something up while I do that to have you guys talking. But check this out. What's his name? Ben Davison, British trainer, put this up on his Instagram. A Photoshop, obviously, of him with Muhammad Ali hitting the mitts. And then he put up this caption saying, "Only time got in the way." So he's sort of intimating that he'd be training Muhammad Ali. Now, some people were defending Ben Davison, saying, no. What he meant to say was that he would have liked to train Ali. But I mean, that's not what he said. That's their interpretation. Guys, what do you think about Ben Davison?
He's like, I would have been able to train another guy who gets knocked out by Usyk.
Ah, come on. Why you gotta
Who's he training now? Who's he training now?
Moses Aitama, I think.
Deontay Wilder, maybe. Yeah.
Really?
bad.
Oh god.
Really bad.
Oh god.
Maybe that's why he's got
terrible for
brain
Aitama.
damage now.
Yeah, who said that? You said that? Somebody said he's slurring now.
Atama, yeah.
Well, no, what I
He's got
what,
brain
24 or something.
there's a video. Somebody made a video, and I didn't even watch it though, so I should instead. But I read the comments, and people were saying that it's not the brain damage; it's really just the guy likes to dabble in the ganja, if you know what I mean.
Oh, is
Oh,
that
come
why
on.
he looks kind of retarded? You ever seen his eyes? He's like, duh.
Food TV has no filter, man. He will go just after
No, when you look
everybody.
at, you don't see it. You don't see it when you look at his face. He's sort of like, there's something wrong with him. I don't know. Something going on there. He got
Yeah, maybe
retard
he
strength.
just-
That's what it is. That's why
I was
he's
gonna
able to
say
beat these
that.
guys, right?
Fuck, you
He
stole.
got-
I was.
See, I'm reading your
yeah.
I'm reading your mind. See.
Oh, what the
Hey,
Hey,
looks like
Fu.
the real life version of Patrick. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Didn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
What,
he
Fu,
looks
weren't
like
you
he
saying
would
you
be
went to
like
Puerto
a-
Rico once and people were floating? Like you went to some sort of Santeria thing, or did I
No,
mishear
that wasn't
you?
me. That was my brother. My
Oh,
brother.
okay.
He
That
saw
would be good for
He
the
said
second
he saw a
Renaissance.
bunch of- He said he saw a bunch of crazy stuff, like people sticking to ceilings and all that.
Oh fuck.
I'm not even kidding.
No fuck.
I know, but
He
it's
was,
just
like,
the
terrified.
way you say it, the way you describe it, like people sticking to the ceiling.
he said that. I mean, there's some crazy stuff that goes on with people from PR or DR. They're really into voodoo. They're really into it. I grew up around it.
When you talk about DR, you talk about the Republic of the Congo, or
yeah, DR.
Okay.
Well, Dominican Republic and
Oh,
Puerto
okay,
Rico
okay,
as
okay.
well. They practice it. A lot of people do. So you see it when you're growing up. And he said he saw a bunch of weird stuff when he was in Puerto Rico. And one thing was someone sticking to a ceiling. I was like, what the fuck?
was it was
Did
it
you heard Max Kellerman rob my beep, right? You heard that?
Yeah, I heard that.
He was. You saw this? That's weird, right? He's never did that before.
They're gonna
Hey, Max, fuck you.
and
Max, you.
they're gonna have the background next where they have like the brick background,
Yep,
like the urban
exactly.
thing.
They're
I'm
taking
telling
my
you that.
fucking beeps. And guess who he works for? He works for Turkey All the Chicken.
What are you
Same
gonna do
company
about
I've
it?
been
What are you
accusing
gonna do about it though? You're not gonna let that go,
Well,
are
if
you?
you take, I'm gonna keep looking. When they put the toilet in there, I'm gonna draw the line there.
No, I think you should let him know what's what, man. That's what I think.
Oh, he knows. He knows. They know it. Those guys.
I don't want to
the
talk
beep.
about
He's now
that.
saying
buddy.
beep.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that.
I don't want to talk about that, buddy.
Don't fight with nobody.
Buddy.
All right, well, listen.
Hey, buddy.
We got to go.
Yeah, buddy.
Turkey out of shit.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, we got to go.
You got to get that clip from Canelo where he says, "Turkey out of shit."
We got to go. I put the link there for the
All
second
says this,
Renaissance. I put the link there for the second Renaissance. We do have to go. So there you go. So we got
Where's
to
the
go.
link?
But you guys let me know who wants to jump on.
Is the link in the chat?
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
Where's the link?
Okay, I'll put it up again.
Yeah, put it in the chat.
I did. I don't know what I don't know what you
It's
can
not
see.
showing up. You can't.
Oh hell yeah!
What the fuck was that? Jesse Ventura. It's showing up on the screen, Bucho. I don't know why you.
I cracked the seltzer water.
I think my chat's lagging or some
So
shit.
it can.
All right.
Slam them together now.
It's weird.
Alrighty then. So listen,
Anyways.
thank you for joining us. I want to give a big shout out to the Return of the Matrix. I want to give a big shout out to him, Food TV. That's the real Food TV. Everybody go check out his channel.
That's right.
Quentin Lassiter, Never Sobers, over at Taqueria with the Never Sobers, Never Dies channel. Boxing with Frank Bay, formerly known as Frank's Boxing Emporium. Shout out to him for joining us. King Bucci, of course, showing up as well. And everybody who donated via the super chat. And of course, everybody who joined us in the chat, everybody who hit the like. I want to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. Talk about King Bucho in there, Papala, Soro Circus, Skull Kid, Grim Reaper. I know Quantum Rob was in there with a new name. Lil Mike Tyson Punch Out, Barry Nivola, Sean Rain, Ralph Unreal, Bentley Magazine, Bill the Boxer, Alfredo Contreras.
Tomorrow calling show.
Oh yes, of course. Tomorrow again. The festivities don't end here. Calling show tomorrow. Hey, Bucho, should we do real quick? Should we do the comparative analysis thing? That always gets a lot of controversy.
Yeah, we should. We should do it on maybe Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah. Well, let's see how we plan all of this. Let's see how we plan all this.
Tomorrow I'll do a prediction show with the phone calls and phone lines and all that shit.
There you go. All right, so I want to thank everybody in the chat. Can't name everybody, but you guys know who you are. Miso Dionysian, of course, Rafa Unreal, Technique. If I forgot anybody, it's because we got to go. Link in the description there, or in the chat, rather. Excuse me. Link in the chat again. Here we go. Rumble, young man, Rumble. See you on the other side. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. By the way, it's on Rumble. Did I mention it?